about what it was like being able to have two new teammates less than 2 months of practice together and the ability to have concise decision making. What's it like now feeling that confidence that you needed to have in game number 3, but more importantly, not being forced to carry? Grego, Frex, clear to say that they stepped up in that last game.
Yeah, these guys are insane. I mean, after yesterday, we were super disappointed. We went back to the drawing board. Frex took over Wraith. I went back to Watson, which is what I played at X Games. Greg switched from Lifeline to Pathfinder, so we have a completely new lineup basically coming into today. And we just know that, you know, we feel confident. We knew it was going to take a tournament for us to really find our groove together. Online is one thing, but when you're at a live event with all the other distractions going on around you, that's really where it all comes together. And, you know, every series I feel like we've been improving, and we really showed it in that final game.
Well, the snipe down effect must be true, but more importantly, results are what matters. 15 points secures snipe down and reciprocity a spot in the losers finals. One more set of matches remain, and it's the one we've been waiting for. The winners finals are about to arrive. Kings Canyon is ready, and the drop ships are ready to head on out. Let's head over
3 more
to the
matches,
and get things going.
and we're done playing today.
Thank you so much, Jump, for that. A great interview, and it was the great Reinhold Niebuhr that said,
Holy.
God grant me the serenity
Thank
to accept
God.
the things I cannot change, the courage to change that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Of course, Snipe Down showing his wisdom.
It's
as
4?
the most wise and experienced players, dropping
Wait, why did they have
swaps
4?
Instead of forcing that awkward 50-50 fight with Wyvern, they call an audible, dropping someone they're unfamiliar with, and that
The finals
ends
is
up
4?
getting them in. I mean, wow.
The craziest part is
Okay.
that Swamps has become a default for a lot of teams that do drop a pulse.
Because why not?
So it
Why
wasn't,
not
you know,
5?
completely
Huh?
riskless
Just make it 6.
endeavor for them to try and go there. I was actually expecting them to run into Justice, but once I saw that on their feeds, no one was there and they were not contested at all, I was so surprised.
Yeah, honestly, something you could not expect out of Justice not dropping there, something, and them getting Swamps really for free. They are able to get some loot, extend into late game, and then we all know that they can fire with the best of them in that late game. If they get to mid-round rotations, they're some of the best to do it.
I think the best part about being able to actually... We were actually sitting down there, all actively trying to crunch the numbers to see whether or not they were going to make it into the top 10, and it was so close. They just snuck in.
I mean, you guys were sitting there, and we had Fallout. He was climbing on the desk.
I was freaking out.
He was up here, and he was like, I got this. What is going on? It was absolute insanity in those last moments.
I mean, we were freaking out, not knowing if it was enough. You know, we saw Reciprocity with a few kills. We saw them get 4th place. We did the math. Okay, 4th place, 5 points. Is that going to be even? We need at least 14. Do they have 14? I mean, like you said, the quick math was tough there.
We were literally all doing the same thing, and I couldn't be any happier for them. They really, really struggled in the first 2 games, and so I'm glad they were able to pull it out.
And I'm sure the thousands at home were doing the exact same thing, trying to figure it out for themselves as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and man, Apex Legends has not disappointed. The buzz in the room right now is unmatched. You have all the winning players here celebrating, rejoicing that they get to live to fight another day tomorrow. Of course, the teams that lost, a little bit more somber in the room here, but the celebrations, the screams from the side studio were very loud, as we could probably hear them from here, especially this guy named Aladdin.
Dude, Aladdin was popping off. Honestly, so many players. I wish we had the time to talk about all of them, but honestly, Secret, whenever the time comes down to it, they have popped off in the right way, taking another victory, another 20-plus victory there, really securing that for them.
Yeah, so my question for you guys now, and we're obviously going to be previewing this winners bracket final here soon, but I want to talk about losers bracket final real quick before that, as these teams are now advancing. Reciprocity, CLG, they've kind of snuck by a few times. I think CLG has maybe gotten 1 top 3, top 4, a couple good games, but they haven't necessarily been a consistent top performer. Do you think that's going to be enough? Do you think it could be the wake-up call that Snipe Down had? He was very humble in accepting that they got stopped first 2 games. Do you think they can turn it around now?
I think they properly, really did analyze their own gameplay, and then they mentioned it during the interview. He mentioned it during the interview that, you know, they had to play a little bit more towards their comfort zones. Grego really does love that Pathfinder. Putting him back onto it worked out well for them. Putting Snipe Down back on that Watson. You know, at times he did want to go a little over aggressive for it, and he got punished for it, but still, it did work out for them because they got the kills off of it, and then having Frex back onto that Wraith, it really, really was the kind of needle in the arm they needed to be able to push forward for that.
I even got to talk to Snipe Down a little bit before they got to go up and play, and I asked him about, you know, like, what changes are we going to make, and he explained exactly what he did in the interview, but it was more that he was so comfortable making those changes. You know, a lot of teams would kind of take issue or maybe not be that ready to make dramatic team comp changes or
debatable.
rotation changes. Like he was like, no, we changed everything.
Telling
and
one player is
it
best
paid off.
is undermining all the other
Huge
players.
change there.
There's a
lot
lot
to
of
talk about that losers
very
bracket final.
high
But guess what? We have a
skilled
pre-show
players.
tomorrow to
Or
do
like
that,
there are very good
'cause
players in the world,
the match
but
we've
you
been
cannot
waiting for
say
all
that one
day, the
player is
match
the
we
best
all
player in the
three
world.
called out that we were most excited for, the winners bracket final.
Arm
The best
power,
20 teams so far in this
thing
tournament
is-
will be facing off in Kings Canyon here in a
I don't
moment.
think you
A moment,
know,
of course, that includes
whatever,
the likes of
it's
7,
not
8,
my
9,
Discord.
a team of Russian superstars that no one knew about coming here out of nowhere, including Esdesu, our only female player and competitor competing left in this tournament, and she's been representing so well. She's been playing so well. I'm excited to
It's
see if
not
7, 8,
my
9 can do it.
Discord,
Meanwhile,
it's
you have
the
TSM,
startup guy
arguably the best
Discord.
team in the world right now.
He
They're
gave
gonna be
me the
looking to
role.
maintain
Oh,
that spot. They've had a dominant showing
Rogue.
so far as well.
One of the
TwitchCon
highest
champion.
scores coming out of an entire group here with 59 points for TSM in their last matchup. And so they are looking to try and get that three-peat.
No,
They
why
were
are you saying
thwarted
there's not
in their
a
last
problem?
opportunity,
I
but they
never
were
said
super
it
close
was a
coming down
problem.
in that third match getting third place.
First, third is a pretty
See,
solid
in-
record.
We also really need to put that
Coming
in
on my
perspective. Like you're saying, they
stream
were thwarted for a
and
three-peat.
typing Abhi bhai apne Discord
Most
pe
teams
white
are
ka
just
role
trying to
de
get the
dena.
one, you know, and they were shooting for
It's not
the
a
Three in a
third.
row?
Like that's crazy.
thing.
59 points, like you said.
You know,
That's the
it's
highest
not
so far in
it's
the
not
tournament. Biggest
something
point record
you tell on
after
people
3
on
matches.
stream,
There's been
okay?
4 teams
It's the
total
thing that you
that have been able
DM
to break
people,
that
okay?
50-point
It's
threshold.
not a
Why is
public
that important?
discussion.
Well, our championship final format is different than anything you have ever seen.
और मैं तुमको
We will
suggestion दे
have
रहा
a
हूँ कि अगर
race to
तुमको
50
actually में role
points,
चाहिए,
not a set
so you
series
should
of games.
contact
Why?
the
Well, that really solves
owner
for
of
the kind of awkward
the-
scenario where a player has 15, 20 more points
Owner
than
of the
second place
Discord
player. You know
server,
who's gonna
because
win,
मेरे को भी
and you're
role
really
उसी
playing
ने
for
दिया
second
है.
place. Now,
I
you
never
have to race
like
to get 50 points.
it's not like
Once you get to 50,
the
you
startup
have to
guy
win a match following.
has
If it's the
all
next
the
match,
power.
tournament is
Arey,
over.
why are
And
you-
Otherwise, you're going to have to keep grinding it out.
Never
Our
mind,
championship
dude.
final will be great. Winners bracket final will be even better.
You just
it's
don't
a
wanna listen.
4-game series. 4 matches will be played to see who will punch
Arey,
their
good
ticket
night. Good
to
night,
the
Danger.
championship final. And it is locked and ready now. Let's go ahead and throw it over to none other than
And
Bravo
RG
and
और Rogue
Dreadnought
दोनों
to
हैं.
call the action.
My
Thanks
good
so
night
much,
doesn't mean I'm
Fallout.
leaving.
Bravo here alongside Dreadnought and Dread. You and I have
Fuck,
been talking
man.
about this is really where you could say this tournament is going to pick up. This
I'm
is
gonna
kind of
chill.
the moment we've been waiting for so many reasons.
Am I in the camera? I want to see.
The biggest thing here is for some of these rosters, we
No,
expected
I'm not
them
in the
to be
camera.
here, and we almost felt. I feel like it's unfair to say they weren't tested, but really that we expected them to cleanly take those earlier stages, and now
I wanna
can't
chill.
help but feel like some of those bigger expected names are going to hit some bumps, and it's going to be some beautiful Apex at hand.
There absolutely is, and I think we're going to start to see a lot more conflict in the early game, and there's big
Yes.
reasons for that as we're now jumping into the action here.
Oh,
Ladies and
game is
gentlemen, this is
starting.
the winners bracket finals.
क्या
This is
स्कोर है
match
टूर्नी का
number
ब्रो बहुत
1
कंफ्यूजिंग है
of 3
एक
here.
टीम के पास
We're
3
gonna go ahead and
पॉइंट
jump
था
in
वो
right
क्वालिफाई
now,
कर गए
starting
एक गेम
things
जीत
off
के
with
12
NRG
गेम
and all
टीम
of
सिनिस्टर
the top talent
बहुत है
is
रेसिप्रोसिटी
here.
घुस
20
गई बहुत
teams
लोग
in this lobby, 10 of them will be sent to the losers bracket before we end the night.
Who will drop on top of one another? Where would the aggression come in? A lot of interesting questions here, but already we see NRG taking a pretty traditional drop route for themselves, usually gauging here over towards the western half of the map, towards that pit. If they feel like they're left alone, expect a split and a bunch of individual loots.
And when you and I had some fantastic conversations going into this match, I want to quickly highlight a lot
ओ
of
भाई
these
ये लोग
matchups
अलग
because
अलग
we
हो
have
गए
many teams
एनर्जी
dropping on each other potentially because they were on different sides of the bracket. They are meeting for the first time in Pro Apex here play. Now TSM and
ये
Gamma
सु
were both
बंकर
going
लिया
Cage. Sentinels
मोहर
and BP were both going Thunderdome. Navi and FlyQuest to
डिजी
run off.
लिया ओके
Rogue
डिजी
and
लिया
G2
क्योंकि
at
डिजी
Skull
भाग
Town.
सकता है
Could see G2 go Repulsor. We had 7, 8, 9 going Treatment. MVP at Relay, and we're going to find out if all those are true because teams are going to be hot dropping on each other. Command Center,
Oh,
let's see where these
send
teams are
send
at.
team
Thank you
Thunderdome.
very
क्या scene है
much, boys.
सुनने
So far on my side, I got Sword
मोहर
Gaming.
what the fuck
These guys are going to be at
अरे
Water
मोर
Treatment,
भाई
and
जा
Gamers
खुश हो गया
Origin is going to be over there towards the outskirts of that's going to be containment. So far, teams not trying to get into it. This is the winners finals. Over there on your side, Nate, what do you got for us?
That's crazy, man. We got 4 matches for all of this, but just to give you some quick updates, over at Gauntlet, we have Penta, not too far away, of course, keeping our eyes. These guys dominated yesterday. VP over at Skull Town, and they're moving around pretty quickly from there. So with a centrally based circle, these teams are going to have a lot of time to make their moves. I can already hear some gunshots coming out. We got to get it back to the casters.
Guys, take it away. Get us into the action, and we'll give you guys the updates throughout the match.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much. Here we are now with FlyQuest. We talked about one of those teams that is going to be into some interesting action here. Potentially, yes, indeed, they are at runoff, and we have to guess it's Na'Vi with them.
Yeah, we'll figure out if that's the one with the end of the barrel here as we take a glance.
FlyQ monsoon down हो गया
drop down coming up from above, and it's Na'Vi. Longbow number 1 coming up.
हक दिया longbow से.
This is what we're talking about. This is high stakes Apex Legends, and we just saw the drop that we heard
FlyQ
was
गया.
going to be the case.
Cloud को sniper मारने वाला
Now that we're in the winners finals, that
Sniper
was
वाला
the
गया.
battle for runoff. We talk about these teams being territorial. They do not want to leave their drop locations. They're so
गया
comfortable with
भाई.
them. They've dropped their
Cloud को और मारो.
hundreds of times. Guess what?
Kraber
says, hey,
लगा ना
we
बदुआ
own
fans
runoff.
का.
It is ours.
And luckily for FlyQuest and any of you Monsoon fans out there, there is an extra game available in this sample size for them to be able to recover. But Na'Vi, the fact that they maintained their trajectory, established dominance over a roster as credible of that of FlyQuest is a very good tell here if you're a fan of them. But for everybody else, maybe a bit more timid here.
Space Station Gaming, look at them here. And who might have guessed it after that 20th place at the X Games? They have bounced back here and made quite a statement. They knew that they had a lot of work to do. They're on our list of teams that had a lot to prove here, and so far,
Space Station Gaming.
quite well.
बहुत flex कर रहा था मोटू. हाँ.
Yes, indeed. Probably couldn't be more true. Probably
बहुत बदुआ लगा है भाई उसको.
That's NRG.
Yeah, I can't. I feel like it's a pressure fans put on them, maybe not themselves here for NRG, and that's the biggest thing to keep in mind is that just because
ऐसे तो घुस जाएगा कैमरा में.
almost pacing at which they had climbed to the top, it felt like, of Apex Legends, made this roster the one to beat. But we know as time has moved on, things like TSM and clearly names like 789 are now ones that sit at the tip of our tongues. But Space Station posturing up rather well here. We heard from the command center that we have a centrally focused circle, and they're already in a grand position.
One thing I'm wondering, we did see NRG at home right there around Bunker Town, and they look pretty comfortable. We also know that Misfits like to drop Bunker as well. I'm wondering if Misfits might have gone over to that western side, over to High Desert.
And I think that's super interesting because Misfits has been one of the more lethal rosters here at this tournament. Definitely had some of the more high-impact games, you know, high octane, if you will, but sans the octane. But anyways, I want to see if that is the case, if they have any success as we see the
सबका नया
timeout here
account है
for
अपना ना
Misfits.
bot account
No
है
longer
bro.
gonna have
सारा
help with us, it's
information
just
उस account का
Lucido
इसमें
to carry the team.
but like
Looks like they did
वो
run into some
origin
pressure,
नहीं
so
है
would
तो
love
like
to
एक
hear
fake
from
account bot account
analysis
बना
and
के
command
दिया
center
है.
later
all
on. Maybe we can get some
सारा
highlights
info
of some
copy
early
paste.
stuff from that Misfits side to see exactly how those engagements went down. But they certainly find themselves in a challenging place here, and I don't think it's ever been more true, Dread, that now, the pressure is on when we talk about teams having to make very strategic and risky decisions early on.
TSM.
All these teams are going to be performing so well.
TSM T building liya. T for TSM T
top
building.
10. I think this is going to be tight all the way through. We also do want to remind everyone, this is our first series of the tournament. This is going to be 4 games in the winners
TSM
finals, not just
NRG
3. As
Rogue,
we head into these rounds, and also
Na'Vi,
the losers finals
FlyQ.
tomorrow also will be a 4-round set. So lots of Apex to play for these teams. They've got one more game, but that really, it's going to
ये
feel
winners
like
है,
a
ये
loss 'cause of how
winners
tight this
final
lobby
है.
is.
Yeah,
Winners
it
final.
very much will, and it's going to be
ये final का क्या बोलते हैं? Winners final है जो कल winner lobby थी उसका final. उसका round 2 like finals में qualify होने की.
Here, but glance over with Penta as they're looking to get a couple of kills.
Absolutely. Now Orax here, just setting up, and of course on the rest of the lobby, these teams are not going to want to be making mistakes. Want to play this slow, and luckily for really everyone except for FlyQuest, it seems like they were able to either grab their drop, the one they were the most comfortable with, or at least find a neighboring area that they were safe with, or perhaps a secondary drop that they could use as well.
It's going to be very important that Sentinels here or Penta find a way to be able to get out of the skirmish very quickly. A nice 72 chip there coming out from that triple take. Precision choke coming in value there, but it's important to be efficient with the skirmish because they do need it to get towards the center of the map. If everybody of the lobby of this skill level has the opportunity to gatekeep outward, I think you're going to have a real tough time making your way in. So get in before everybody has an established place.
Absolutely taking a look here with Sentinels. Really a lot of success at X Games, as well as a team that we talked about, and a lot of teams talking about, is such a mechanically talented team as well. Zoms, Retzi, and Senox here. And now looking to rotate. Right now pinging at these towns here just around Crossroads as they head a little bit southeast.
I wonder what the rotations here that they're going to try and make through. Are they going to go through the Golden Sands and try and take that risk of the shot avenue that would be coming up here from Virtus Pro in this positioning if they decided to do so?
VP, one of your teams to watch for this tournament.
मेरे को फॉर्मेट नहीं समझ आ रहा टूर्नी का. अच्छा मैं डिस्कॉर्ड पे समझा दूंगा. अगर अभी मेरे को समझाना हो तो मैं पूरा पॉइंट सिस्टम है ब्रो, पूरा पॉइंट सिस्टम है. 80 टीम है, ठीक है. पहले 4 राउंड हुआ. मैं इसका बात तो 80 टीम, राइट? तो 4 ग्रुप 20-20 का, एक लॉबी में 20 टीम होती है, राइट? उसमें से 10-10 टीम निकल गई विनर्स ब्रैकेट के लिए, राइट? और 10-10 टीम निकल गई चारों राउंड में से लूजर्स ब्रैकेट के लिए, राइट? ठीक है, तो 40-40 टीम हो गई विनर्स में और लूजर्स में. अब लूजर्स को वापस मौका मिलता है क्या बोलते हैं विनर्स में जाने का, और विनर्स को वापस मौका मिलता है लूजर्स में जाने का, राइट? ठीक है, तो 2-2 बन गया, ग्रुप ए ग्रुप बी, फिर विनर में और लूजर्स में. तो लूजर्स में जो टॉप 10 आया वो फिर से क्वालिफाई हो गया विनर्स के लिए. अब विनर्स में जो टॉप 10 लो टॉप 10 रहेगा वो नीचे आ जाएगा. समझ रहा है? समझ रहा है? एक लास्ट मौका है आज सबको अपना सिक्योर करने के लिए कल फाइनल के लिए. हाँ समझा, ओके नाइस. चलो, और उसमें किल्स का पॉइंट है और पोजीशनिंग का पॉइंट है.
Bring up here, Bravo, before things get a little bit too out of hand, is the focus towards the center circle. It's going to be more towards those broken cascades.
Same rank जैसा point है, बस kills का unlimited point है जितना kill कर सको, और winning का 12 point है, और top 3 का 7 है और top 2 का 9 है. Top 2 का rank में कोई rank नहीं होता ना, but top 2
TSM played that final ring. The fact that they were able to identify exactly where it was going to be, they got the early zip up and they were able to really sneak out a finish that I think was unexpected given their position and their armor situation as well. Also TSM, we talked about that yesterday, as a lot of teams are heading to this tri-choke. They describe that tri-choke as an area you simply cannot push into. That's why they sat there when they had the triple white armor. And you're seeing a few other teams also Watson up and hold that down for now.
Yeah, and it was really nice that we actually got to talk to them, hear some of their thoughts on why they ended up there, and I'll bring it to light, well, some of the insight that they were conveniently able to give us if it becomes a problem here in game number 1. But tuning back in with Penta, they have made a transition pretty far over from, I believe, what was more towards that crossroads section of the map now. They do find themselves on that low ground. We know the posturing that is of TSM towards the high ground where they're glancing already.
Shroud भी कुछ घंटा नहीं कर पाता, unlike PUBG in this type of PUBG. Bro, देखो, Shroud with the minimal effort बहुत अच्छा खेलता है, ठीक है? हाँ, because his aim is really good, okay? ठीक है? But playing professionally, maybe अगर Shroud professionally के लिए जाता, maybe he would have been the best player. Maybe he would have been a very good player. Right? हम बोल नहीं सकते. Shroud is overrated थोड़ा सा, but his aim is not overrated. His aim is actually godlike, with like little to no effort. हर FPS गेम में उसका एम बहुत अच्छा, but being a professional gamer requires you to have more than aim. समझ रहा है? तो वो प्रोफेशनल गेमर्स की तरह प्रैक्टिस नहीं ना करता. अगर वो प्रोफेशनल प्लेयर्स की तरह प्रैक्टिस करेगा जैसे CS:GO में करता था, हाँ, कोच वोच के साथ डिसीजन मेकिंग एवरीथिंग, तो हो सकता है उसकी टीम बेस्ट हो सके, बट एक बंदा बेस्ट नहीं हो सकता ना. यही सीन है और कुछ.
Yeah, and I think that is something that we have to keep in mind, because there has been a lot of question marks over these rosters of when
that is what I'm going to say. अब किसी को बुरा लगे तो बुरा लगे, खराब लगे.
Even avenue through this, but the roster was able to knock out Navi, and actually the only roster, or excuse me, not Navi, but in
being very good at a game and being a pro at a game.
Really with some kills to their name still for the most part, because we have all 19 remaining.
They've got to be feeling good. Like we said, really the only big territorial battle that saw in a limb off the early game. And to be honest, other than that, this is what we expected here, how tight this matchup was going to be in our winners bracket finals.
See if they take too much pressure from one direction. It seems like maybe the grenade may be too problematic here as we glance back in with TSM. And you know, TSM is one of the favorites, I can't help but feel, for this winners final. So
Cloud9 नहीं है इसमें, नहीं इसमें NRG है, famous है बता रहा हूँ. NRG, TSM, Rogue, Navi, FlyQ मर गई.
It's fine, you can do it.
और भी लोग हैं.
Just call it if they portal. Yeah, I will. You'll know. They'll hit your fence. If they're stunned, I'm just going to two-tap them with a wingman. Okay.
Exactly, danger.
This guy's under us.
Actually, one.
There's people under us.
Wait, why does it look like one guy beneath me? Do you see this kid?
Yes, there's a wraith beneath us.
They're coming through? No, portal. On me! He didn't come through the portal. He ran back through this time.
There's a wraith, like a solo wraith beneath us.
Under us, yeah.
Yo, let me in.
Yo, 114 under us, 114 under us. Watson.
Don't do anything.
I can't go in. I can't. I'm just holding this door right now.
He had white armor.
Yeah, the Watson that went to the portal was on blue.
Team right there too.
Okay, listen, bro. This team under us, like, they seem to be so fucking bad. They look really fucking bad. So if we have to fight these guys, like, we can wipe them really easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they blew both their doors out already.
Yeah, they didn't block their doors, so Longbow just opened it up.
The Watson has white armor down below, too.
You hear their TSM. Some very specific thoughts from TSM here about their opponents below, and we'll see exactly what they make of that. We know how they feel about their opponents below, but we'll see what they do on the push. And I feel like we got to see what's happening with TSM to see if they actually make this push.
Oh, Sen ka do down ho gaya.
The outskirts of, kind of the back end of farm there. Not making a transition out. Retsy's the last
CSN जो गाली करती है ना मजाक
but I feel like it is a miracle if you're able to make that one happen. Understandably so, he is going to leave the remainder only representative there. And as we take our glance now on Mirko, that is one of the teams here approaching that of TSM, but we don't know who's stuck in between.
Right, this is a third party here looking into bottom hillside outpost. They are also finding this team here that's just below TSM, so a lot of concentration already around this part of the map, which you expect to see given the limited high grounds. We are going straight into a valley with this final ring.
Back with Virtus Pro, sitting just on the side here from everybody else we're glancing at. Seems like they found themselves a victim.
देखो बहुत लोग को ना मजा नहीं आता ये देखने में, ठीक है? हाँ, बट तुमको मजा कब आएगा ना? जब तुम प्लेयर्स का स्ट्रीम देखोगे जा जाके या प्लेयर्स के को जानोगे, ठीक है? तो जब तुम उनका टूर्नामेंट होगा ना, तो तुम देखोगे तो तुमको मजा आएगा.
At this point, if you're Virtus Pro, you really want this
और सीखने को ही मिलेगा.
You don't really need this so much when it comes to the positioning. This team is in such a bad position that Space Station Gaming is likely not going to be able to make it out of this transition.
We do have to be careful though, they don't take too much damage as they are getting pushed here by NRG. Take a look at this, Dizzy around the corner. Peacekeeper down, takes a lot of damage, has to grapple out. More also taking damage here. And Ace as well. This could be a failed push if they aren't careful. Dizzy here popping a bat, now popping back up, and needs to find a way to engage. Finding Ace and also taking shots from low as well.
Yeah, everybody's just kind of sitting.
कितने कोने-कोने बैठे वो लोग देख रहे हो?
Push into Virtus Pro and it was unsuccessful. That was a very risky opportunity. Now Virtus Pro highlighting that there is a Wraith portal sitting down to the lower left-hand side, concerned about a possible flank. Grapple up maybe for that high ground.
He's going to fly way up, was hoping to get a little bit more of an angle, but that doesn't work. He falls back down, so not going to have that advantage. Instead, has to drop back. Here's back with NRG, and they have shielded up, and they're ready to make maybe a second effort. This puts more exchanging wingman shots. Here's Dizzy.
Hi, Madari.
Can he fly up and over? He lands back in, but does not get a new angle with it.
He had an opportunity possibly, but you could see once everybody wasn't willing to commit at the same time, probably better to be able to pull away, especially considering Ace just able to shield up.
Yeah, just give him 10 seconds. He'll be right back in there. Of course, that Q already up, and he's going to have a second opportunity to do it. But
look at the shields.
Look at this, great shots here with that disruptor ult from Dizzy.
Moore is so very low, he's going to have to be able to use the battery up here. And keep in mind that Energy is concerned with two different teams. This is not just Virtus Pro kind of poking back.
Here we go now.
Round 4 closing.
Virtus Pro has to push in, and NRG's going to try to force a choke.
Yeah, they're very much going to be looking for these kills and make sure that one of the favorite teams here has no opportunity to be able to close it out. We'll see what they end up doing.
मोहर का तो मार लिया भाई, मतलब
shots going through. Moore taking a shot. He has no HP past that armor. Luckily, we do see Ace was able to get some of that armor.
Moore goes down. You see it off screen there, and he already is wiped as well. He'll be eliminated. Now Dizzy also weakened, is trying to stay alive here. Very low HP for Ace as well.
Round 4.
Dizzy going to have the opportunity to pop a bat. Only has one left after that. Now Soar is trying to make their way. It's only IPN who's alive.
There are 15 squads alive in this circle here, Bravo.
See some knocks there for
TSM. 15 squad alive hai.
With IPN to see if he can stay alive. Using the skinniest tree on Kings Canyon to stay alive.
But there's so many
I play better Pathfinder than this.
Waiting as he ends up dropping down. That was an easy pickup there. Actually, maybe even the hands of 789. Now Virtus Pro skirting here behind Noth and friends. 3-man crew looking to get up here. Find a couple of targets. Good opener. but not enough to confirm and knock. Armor break. Noth ends up going down. Now Armor no longer available here, but also the same case for Ace.
Once again, Ace is so weak. Dizzy has had a chance to shield up, just trying to get out of here. The lowest of low grounds here at Destroyed Cascade, and just trying to stay alive and hopefully right now have a decent bit of cover, more than you might expect on this part of the map. That's why they're tucked in right here, and I has to drop some meds, and it looks like maybe
इनको top 10 आना, कुछ movement नहीं सालेगा. Exactly.
Ace still not shielding up, so it looks like that's not going to be the case here. He has to fight with no shields out of this battle and hope that Dizzy's purple can get him out of this.
I also wonder if he's going to swap armors with Dizzy just to make sure that Ace has the opportunity to maybe go for a miracle play if necessary later on. We'll see what they end up doing, but back with Misfits here.
30 लोग बचे हैं इस circle में.
Representative here, just trying to do his best to stay alive.
And those shots are coming in, so he has to wisely disengage. But now also
गया.
in the back also pops the med just in time.
बाप रे एक कोना लेके.
With only 2 players alive.
That kit will end up being completed.
NRG, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, eliminate Williams to get confirmation on the back. I think we just saw in the kill feed that NRG will go down.
They did end up going down.
Yes, indeed, they are out, but now
TSM down.
Trying to stay alive. Will port back and all the way up. Back home is taking a lot of Watson Fetch damage as well. Now has to place the rift, now placing the portal, trying to fly down in. Will get taken down. That will be the end of the road for Gambit as well. Now 8 squads left.
But TSM is still alive. Only person here is Imperial How. No shield.
Boys, so many cards in this. Exactly, Shravan.
Goes down. Battery is available.
TSM बस एक ही Imperial Hall बचा.
Pushing everybody back. Somebody inside the house. Everyone. He is completely surrounded. Imperial How 2 seconds on the queue.
Panic किया.
TSM finishing there in 5th place. Now on board with Kick.
But top 10 होना इनको क्या next round में जाने.
Very close quarters fight. Going to try to still exchange some shots across the river.
Yeah, and if he's able to hit those, I mean, don't get me wrong, the longbow's still good at the close range. Looking at the close range here, we're going to find Penta down a member. Nesh is the only one standing, able to get the armor off, and at least
Lyric जिंदा है, okay? नहीं, Lyric down है.
Get this resurrection off. But my goodness, now here 3 squads remain. Kick has been absolutely dominant toward that circle as we take a glance back here with them.
3 squads left. Kick has all 3 members up. We did just see the solo as well. We'll find out exactly how many players are on that 3rd team.
They've got 39 seconds to be able to decide what they want to do here. We know that we've got the target onto the right-hand side, and that seems like the primary focus. They get 1 thermite. They get enough chip damage.
Look at
it
this.
opens a break. They're just going to push. There's 51 to the face. Goes for the grapple over the high ground. Now we got Knighty getting the flank elsewhere, but they find somebody up top.
There's your 3rd party right up there on the roof. They're going to need to play this slow. Like you said, still have 20 seconds, but they're pushing in. Can they get the first knock? Yes, indeed. That's going to be XN from 789. See if that limb comes in.
Nobody on Kick has any armor available here, Bravo. It's very, very close, but look at 789.
And
equally as problematic.
Desu as well, popping a bat. Also, on the revive here. Now look at this. Look what happened to Kick. Matrix has gone down now. Saib also in a dangerous place. 90s.
Oh, 3 team है.
They're going to just try to stay alive up top. 3 squads still remaining here.
But they're going to be able
ये लोग pros हैं. Come on, Madani. Why you act like this?
Third party that's kind of chipping in and into the house. I don't think that's enough of Oryx, and then they take the trade on the outskirts.
This is dangerous territory here for Penta. There are no shills left at all, but they do get the elimination there on XNs now.
Nesh.
See if they can push inside.
He has absolutely no armor. The Wraith comes out, and that is going to be enough. There now we got 2 squads remaining. Trying to be able to identify here who has a self-res or where.
Oh, he's blocking the gate.
For some time.
They haven't seen now. Shots actually coming from the inside. That's going to be the last player alive. Let's see if they can get the finish here. 79. This could be Zanaya. Can they?
Oh my God!
1v2 here. Can they get this?
Oh!
The knockout 2 versus 1. The wingman. Here we go. Can they turn on him? We'll see right here. Getting the shots down. Also Q's out. He stays alive and goes back inside.
They're dominating the trade, but then the shots come back. He needs 2 more. There.
Oh!
Does he have an opportunity to heal the Watson? Can he get an armor swap? Anything in his favor?
Exchanging some shots. So weak here. Grabs a beacon. Let's see if they can land the shots here. What a story it would
swap.
be.
The swap. Yes. No, it's low.
It's not the swap. They wanted just going for a kill here. Can he get the shots?
Oh!
Are you kidding me? 7, 8, 9.
This is a team who has put on a show all weekend, and they brought that same game to the winners bracket finals.
What can you say about this roster other than absolutely amazing? They make miracles happen at any moment necessary, whether it be coming in here with almost no background. Everybody's going, who are they? And then to come in here and dominate with names like TSM and things of the like, and 2 versus 3, almost 1 versus 3 at the end there completely.
don't even know what to say about this team. This team hailing from Russia, putting on such a show and an amazing game number one. I don't think we could have asked for a better game number one, and my heart has never pounded this fast after an Apex game. And for the sake of my health condition, I want to hand it over to the desk to learn more about that last match. Fallout, Jamerson, Glitter, you guys take it away.
Bravo, thank you, man, because we have a lot to talk about. Oh my goodness, 7-8-9, the Cinderella story of this tournament. They do it again, and I will repeat my public service announcement from yesterday. They are orgless, by the way. If you're an esports organization looking to pick up a team, this has been one of the most amazing stories in esports I have ever seen. Of course, we can't get ahead of ourselves yet because we're just getting started here, but what a beginning for 7-8-9.
Do you see this?
I see literal goosebumps.
That's actual literal goosebumps.
She has mountains in her arms right now in the form of
I am having goosebumps.
Mountains
Like,
at this point.
what just happened?
Crazy.
Holy Zanaya. He absolutely popped off, and you saw there. That is the most emotions that we have seen out of that team. Every time we've gone to their camps, they're pretty like nonplussed. They're just sitting there calm. They take a victory. They just
Madari, come
slap,
on, man.
slap. We got it, right?
Check out this
right
kill.
There, they can't even believe it.
Check out this kill against Kick, a 2-3 versus 1. Zanaya with the wingman in a dream, some way, somehow. Of course, Zanaya had some help from his teammates, but ultimately it was a 1 versus 1. He had a wingman, tried picking up some shield. Let's see how it broke down. Came down to a 1 versus 1. Nighties has over 100 health. Zanaya is scrambling, looking for anything to try and win this, and still, with the wingman, hits 1 shot, hits 2 shots, connects for a headshot. In an ultimate domination, Zanaya does it, and look at the reaction from him.
Things were so bad for Zanaya there because he tried to go for the armor swap, goes onto one of his teammates' boxes, and of course he has to get that pull-out animation of their banner, and then he has to go back in, and guess what? The purple armor only has 5 HP on it!
Honestly, he was like a Spartan from 300 fighting 5,000 Persians is what it looked like. Zanaya does it with ice in his veins. I cannot believe trying to find shield, trying to find any hope to win this, almost gets that kill, instead says, you know what, I'm finishing this with the wingman.
Never mind, that 5 HP was just from the walk interception pylon.
Literally, his face looked more surprised that actually worked than anything.
He could not even believe it. And it looks like they're best friends. It looks like 3 best friends playing with each other, having a blast, and currently cementing themselves as the best team of Apex Legends in the world.
They're putting themselves definitely in contention at this point.
One thing we do need to talk about, though. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I know exactly. You know, you and I, we've been like mind melding
here. It is another acronym.
Does it usually end in win?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, crazy. TSM.
We need to touch on that for a second.
They ran the table in this game.
4th place.
See, we were right about the kills. Look how many kills for TSM.
8 kills for TSM there.
Yeah, they dominated in kills. You heard the listen in. They certainly have confidence, that's for sure. And they certainly don't respect their opponents, that's for sure. But ultimately, it is 7-8-9. Kick Esports team I want to jump into and talk about as well. Penta in 3rd place, TSM in 4th, Ringers in 5th, Space Station in 6th. So, as it currently stands, MVP representing Korea, but 3 European teams in top 3, 3 North American teams, 4 through 6. The NA battle continues right now, 7-8-9 on top of the mountain.
This is absolutely absurd. The amounts of action that was going on in the last 10 minutes of that match.
NRG.
We could not take our eyes off of the kill feed because there was just so much going on.
NRG no brain.
G2
only aim.
And then all of a sudden Rogue's taken out by TSM. And then all of a sudden Ringers take out, I don't even remember at this point.
But the best part was it wasn't just the end game. Like there were early eliminations out of nowhere. Like were you expecting FlyQuest to go down that early? Were you expecting Moose to get taken out on Misfits immediately? I mean, granted, they were able to get his res later on, but still.
Take a look at the player kills here. First place, surprise, surprise, it's Zanaya with 8 kills, leading the pack by a little bit here. Alberlelli, of course, as you'd expect, right behind. Logically, the 17-year-old from California, former Fortnite player, transitioned to Apex, looking good as well right after. Space Station had a solid game, but ultimately 7-8-9 did great. We talked all about that. I want to shift the conversation a little bit to Kick Esports. I think Kick Esports is a team that deserves a little bit of recognition here and some discussion. A team with an individual from Italy, from Portugal and from Russia, now living in Austria. So a multinational team, very different languages, all making it happen.
We definitely do need to talk about them because leading up to this event,
dude, I killed North Dice in 3 days ago.
This
Good for you,
this is a
dude.
team that's been making waves.
Next
with
Pro,
the,
Danger Energy.
scrims because they do like to hold W key. But we're seeing a bit more refrained playstyle coming out from them, where they go for, you know, that mid-circle kind of rotation early on.
Yeah, of course, taking a look here, how FlyQuest went down early. A Monsoon, one of the most up-and-coming, rising names, currently gets taken out early here. A big shot to Monsoon and his story. If you don't know that, homeless years ago, now he is taking over the esports world with his personality and his heart, but he goes down early here. However, Complexity, another American team representing the Dallas Star with Complexity.
Nice, okay, finish,
They looked solid, picked up some kills throughout, but weren't able to have the finish they wanted. Look at that aim, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically Battle Royale as everyone really conceived it when the gameplay style did come out. It's going to be a mad brawl in these small circles. You're going to see a lot of people just fighting absolute chaos, kills going left and right between everybody.
Yeah, look at Reps just absolutely melting people here in the mid-game, doing everything he can. Reps is the IGL of this team. He holds himself to just such a high standard in saying, if I make the wrong call, that's on me, that's not on my teammates. He really takes accountability, leads by example, and you saw it right there with the damage he did, but ultimately TSM got taken out.
Yeah, we should definitely touch on Ringers a little bit as well, because they kind of they had a great game today.
Yeah.
They pulled down fourth for the first one set of our matches, and I feel like that we haven't gotten a chance to really touch on them at all.
This is a statement game also. This is a statement tournament for the Ringers also. Just recently, you know, most of their players dropped by 100 Thieves. Now here they are at this tournament. They're making 100 Thieves basically kind of question their decision here.
Right?
Look at Zanaya. I mean, we saw the replay already, but honestly, a 1 versus 3 purely takes out one and somehow manages to dance, looking for anything he can possibly find. And ultimately, in a 1 versus 1 with 25 HP, takes out a member of Kiki's force with 125 HP.
I'm sorry, you hit that headshot, you hit that 79, it feels so good. I feel really good watching that.
Who said the wingman meta is out? He's still making it work, of course. With an extended mag, it's easier to do, but man, what a play and what a story. Cinderella continues
मेरे को ये गेम
to
20
dance with the
पिंग पे
ball
खेलना
tonight.
है ओके buddy.
You know, now that they've kind of solidified themselves in game
मेरे को
one,
भी
do you
खेलना
think
है.
that they have a huge target on their backs now moving forward for the next 3 games?
They've got their targets on their back, but here's the thing, right? Remember, this is a 4-match series, and so they cannot rest on their laurels, right? Even though they have this huge game, we've seen players and teams just pull out absolute amazing victories to really bring themselves into the top 10.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think with 25 plus points, 23 plus points, and Zanaya alone had 8. I think they're in a good spot. I mean, yes, they'll have targets in their backs, but now that gives them a chance to almost treat this like a scrim lobby, get ready for the championship finals, because I think they may have punched their ticket. As crazy as that sounds.
Oh,
We've seen 14 be the threshold on average in our 3-game series. I would think maybe 18 or 19 is just a complete estimate, might be the threshold. If they're already 20 plus, they're looking good. Of course, they want to continue the dominance. They want to treat this almost like it's a championship final. Let's see how fast they can get to 50. Let's see how fast they can win the match after. Let's see how long we're going to be here tomorrow night. The championship final will be amazing. The format, of course, is beautiful. But right now we have a winner's bracket final, and right now we have 2 of the best minds and one of the best personalities in esports. It's your boy Guy Blaze alongside Nathanius. Take it away, gentlemen.
Oh man, Fallout, thank you very, very much. And what
how you will host scrims from Monday?
First matchup.
आज बॉस टीम को हराया किसी ने हाँ बहुत लोगों
come out and get the job done.
बॉस टीम का स्कोर 19 था और मैक्सिमम था एक टीम का 32 टीम मैनियक का और माइकल की टीम का 31 पॉइंट्स कल राउंड 2 है कल का मिला के स्कोर होगा.
And so coming down here, I want to just kind of talk a little bit about positioning of where SOAR was towards this mid-map area. We're going to play this off, and we're going to see how they have this height advantage, and they're watching the whole lower side of the map out here by Cage. But when you turn around, you're going to see where they were actually positioned and how they had their Watson set up in the canyon to block them off. And I'm going to get this pause right around here. We're going to slow it on down, and I want you to see how they utilize the zip line up to that advantage location. So they had the height advantage to get the shots, but they also had the escape route just in case, and it was blocked off on that side as well.
I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful zone control, but also getting
Nixon, ये लोग कहाँ थे?
Really love to see that. That's the high level plays. Even when you're taking those low ground areas, use your Pathfinder to still get the high ground to get that vision. And one of the other plays that I did want to show off as well, just some of the basic techniques, taking a look at VP as that circle was closing in. They were coming in from the southwest, and everything got really, really crazy when we were at that 32-man and everything started to close in. But right before that, just wanted to touch on some nice stuff, right? They're playing the high ground. They've got an enemy here. They know exactly where they are. They're hiding behind that door. The circle is going to force them out, but they want to try and take advantage of that opportunity to get the hits in before that happens. So moving it a little bit forward, just super basic technique, but it's one of those things that when you're mindful of, you can really take advantage of those opportunities. He takes the arc star and he's going to tag the door. Even if there's a pylon on the other side, doesn't matter. You want to block those longbow shots, that's fine. Arc star is going to pop it, but he has the awareness as well. The second that breaks, immediately starts to blind fire straight through. You never know when those opportunities are going to come if the opponent is peeking or not playing safe enough, especially when you know that circle cuts off so much of where they could be hiding in there.
And you can also tell his teammate had the perfect timing as well, that synergy of getting that second arc star as well. So you blow the door up, you get an arc star on the ground, and you get that final kill in as well. Now, for you guys that's just joining us, I know some of you guys saw 789 clutch up on that play. Now, I want to just come back, and I wanted you guys to see it one more time, because at this moment, you guys can see the whole POV where he becomes the kill leader, looking like the Terminator, and he just goes beast mode, taking out the entire enemy team. And now, coming around, you're going to see on the other end, the shots there. He's going to start to flank around. See 2 targets in front of him. Keep on going. That's going to be 1 knock. The Raven is going to come. The Wraith is going to come around the corner.
The awareness and reaction time is just absolutely insane. Making use of all the kit to constantly get around. I mean, we saw these clutch plays. We've already heard from him before, and he's just absolutely dominating. Really, just I think they said it best: is the ice in the veins. Absolutely nothing flustering, nothing getting in the way, nothing stopping. And in a situation where you have to make those quick, close calls, and you don't have the best utility, you don't have the best armor available, that's how champions are made.
That's exactly how champions are made, and they get it done, folks. So congrats to 789.
FPS
That's gonna be it
Ajax.
for me and Nate at the command center. Let's throw it over to interview and learn a little bit more about the squad.
You can't have crazy plays without making sure we get into the mines. And of course, you know, I had to pick the one player here that knows the good flower style. I've got Zanya, the Wraith player, available here for us. Now, that was a very crazy game. So the question that I want to ask you first off, that everybody wants to hear, is talk me through what happened at the end of the game and that 1 versus 3.
Это была бешеная игра. И, пожалуйста, расскажи про последние моменты этой игры.
Я бегал и стрелял по врагам.
I was just running and shooting, and I was very nervous.
It's all that matters. All right, next and final question. You have won match number 1. There are 3 matches left to be played. How confident do you feel in yourself and your team over the next 3 matches to make it to tomorrow?
За вами уже первая игра, остались 3. Как сильно чувствуете себя уверенно в том, что заберете следующие карты?
Я думаю, мы сделаем все, что делали сейчас, и победим еще раз. Только уже втроем.
We will do the same as we did now, but 3 of us, and we're just gonna win it.
I said it yesterday, it's a man of few words, and who needs words when you have actions that showcase those abilities? 789 walk away with an astounding victory through the clutch plays of Zanya himself, but we're not done yet. We've got 3 more. Let's kick it over to Bravo and Dreadnought and get ready for match number 2.
Thanks so much, Jump. Amazing to hear from Zanaya there on the entire 789 side. This is a team that has surprised us. When we talk about teams that are on our list, of course, Team 789, an unsigned org, they're going up against you know, organizations in esports with massive history, not only a ton of esports, but also a ton of BR history as well. And
is Team के बाद
Yeah, I think the coolest thing is just like
इस टीम के पास क्या बोलते हैं कोई org नहीं है. They're not
they almost
sponsored.
didn't realize how good they were. They just knew that they were ready to bring the ammo and just like unleash you.
And the desk called it out perfectly. I mean, we have not seen any emotion from that side. When we saw, I even mentioned to a lot of people and a lot of players, we were talking about it last night. When they won games yesterday, they gave each other a nod, and that was the biggest reaction we got in the booth. But you could tell when there's a 1v3 clutch that looks like that they get a little bit excited.
They will get calls tonight.
No,
Yes.
It's nice to see that you know they're enjoying themselves up there. And But I think it's important to know what also we heard, I feel like, from the analyst desk there, especially coming out from Jamerson and Glitter, that, you know, this isn't necessarily over yet, right? And
especially in a 4-game
Exactly.
set.
It's like basically we're working with the largest sample size, so though that was a amazing performance, it's still the least valuable performance relative to the entirety of the set we've seen yet. So there's still a lot here left for 789.
A lot indeed. And here's the question. We're not really sure, and they probably didn't want to allude to it in the booth right now, but now with 25 points on the board, do they do anything different?
Yeah.
Now, it's a 4-game set, but do they consider dropping on a high-value target, if you will? They've got quite a point cushion. They've got actually, if you take a look, 12 points over the next team. Considerable. They could take a look maybe at the TSMs of the world, who's also at 12 points. If they want it, I'm not sure. We'll have to see if there's any of that. They right now, of course, are the only team that would have that option.
Yeah, and I find it interesting, though, because though they are the only ones to maybe strike and cripple everybody they're afraid of, I would say I'm already ready to cripple 789. So if TSM or any of those members that we just listed is equal levels of fearful and I think respectful of them as they should be, in my opinion, this is the moment that I start going, how can I limit and kind of set them back there?
I liked where he was switching the aim on both of them, damaging both of them. Right? He was shooting the Pathfinder, and he was shooting the left guy a little bit just so he doesn't push his right, but his focus was on the Pathfinder.
For our second game, Team 789 sitting in first place with 25 points. The next closest is Kick and Penta with 13 and 12.
And other things we've got to be keeping track of here for Game 2 of this series is last time we watched the teams that dropped on top of each other maybe have moments of struggle. And of course, we were looking at FlyQuest losing the battle over that of Na'Vi when looking more towards the traditional drops there out towards, I believe,
789,
outside of Thunderdome there.
Yep, and talking with the Complexity guys, of course, they know 789 really owns treatment here, and in this lobby, based on scrim drops as well as drops so far this weekend, no other teams in this lobby really landing treatment, so they're going to have that to themselves. Now here's FlyQuest, and we saw they went runoff last time, and here they are again, maybe potentially challenging Na'Vi. And you have to wonder, I don't expect that Na'Vi would change up their drop, but we're going to keep a close eye on this.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting here. We'll try and figure out if there is going to be a moment of combat here, but also I got to hear from the command center because I got to know where teams like Na'Vi and things like actually
there it is. There it is.
But what about everybody else, Bravo? Come on, command center, what's up?
I got you, boys. So Na'Vi is actually at airbase. They're going to be one of the closest teams to 789 since those guys are going to be at runoff. So you want to watch out for them. TSM, they got the normal drop over there at containment. Well, sorry, not containment, at cage. So they're going to be over there looting up as well. Now, our first team to die was FlyQuest, and the next player to die was a player from Misfits. So where did those two teams drop, Nate?
All right, well, just looking at those couple of teams, of course, Misfits ended up a little bit over towards where Bunkertown is, and FlyQuest by runoff, and 789, there was a little bit of a split up as well. So some of them have also got water treatment covered, and you can see them picking up some of those loot boxes off the skies.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for us. Let's get back into the game, and we'll check back in when we get those zones for you.
Thanks so much, guys, and not terribly surprising to see Na'Vi at airbase because coming in scrims into this event, that was really their most dropped location. So gotta wonder if they popped up there to do some damage at runoff and then said, we'll go back home to airbase and get a little bit more of a comfortable start here. And not too bad, looking pretty good with 2 blues.
Yeah, I would love to hear the thought process behind this, right? Because I think a lot of people, your first thought process is, but you won the fight. Why wouldn't you just double down on those free points, if you will, right? But I think the answer is that Na'Vi felt like whatever they had to do earlier in the game based off that fight on FlyQuest actually set them back.
And actually, I think we actually could have had it answered right there. I think we saw the rotation beginning as they are headed due north into runoff that you see right now. So we're going to stay on board with Na'Vi to see if they can cause a little bit more havoc and some problems for the guys on FlyQuest as well.
Yeah, it looks like they were even going to scout here for the balloon and check out a little bit more. Ping's going down.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a scout, but no, they'll just actually fly right in here.
उसने एक सब गिफ्ट किया होगा रैंडम और उसमें तेरे को मिल गया
turbo as well.
ये स्किन तो pay to win है.
These outer buildings that run off first and maybe not going directly into runoff here, but instead going to get a little bit comfortable.
Surprising to see them take this rotation this far out from runoff. I'm going to gauge that this is something to do with
pay to win
that we haven't gotten quite a glance at.
It must.
This is the positioning we already saw earlier here, but hearing in with Na'Vi.
Сейчас будут типы по-любому с шарика идти какого-нибудь.
ओ ये लोग यहीं सेटअप कर रहे हैं.
Да, есть.
ओ एक टीम.
Вот здесь камень.
ओ वहाँ छुप रही है जहाँ मैं छुपता हूँ.
Ну, если у нас летал сколько? У меня всего 3.
Вон чел. 70-100.
Синий был.
Я свечнул армора, если что, херюсь большая. Я буду мелкими. Нет, большая. У меня не хватит мелких.
Сейчас не подпушивают.
Я очень скоро поставлю.
Ульта, да?
Я снизу не слушаю, не пушит.
Наверху, наверное, ульту надо будет ставить. Тут 6х валяется, если что.
मैं आया एप्पल काट के
Лучше снизу.
तुम लोग देखो मैं आया एप्पल काट के
Если двери не выпьют, нормально. Помнишь, мы дефали туда? Тут скопы такой валяется, надо?
Нет.
А, у нас
Регенит
нет.
серый армор.
Дверь, главное, это блочь.
Сейчас я дропну сюда серый армор, еще один серый армор заберу. У нас их 3 тут, если что.
Пилот там все еще играют в опене.
Заняли дом вот этот вот, походу. Там достроено. Не уверен.
Really interesting there to be able to hear some of the communication, even with just even
how good is your Russian?
You know, it's pretty good. Well versed. You know, Duolingo's working out for me. But in reality, no. Just I love even the content, like the tone, right? Like the pacing at which things are going. I feel like there's a sense of emotion that you can always pick up there, and it feels like they're focused. I think is the term I would use.
Navi, of course, Ukrainian org there with representation here. 9 Impulse and Claws both from Belarus. PKMK hailing from Russia as we take a look here now, check in with NRG for the first time.
Okay, so we know this final circle has got to be here at Runoff. Look at how many people are up here on this app. This has to be the focus for that, even without getting a glance at it. Wow, the fact that we connect there with the grenade 31 coming out from Penta is, I believe that's Navi here on the receiving end of this portal out. Let's just go ahead and push this thing here, Bravo.
Here they go now, take a look at that, and that's actually going to be Space Station Gaming that tries to push in on Claws, and guess what? The Turbocharged Devotion has a different idea. Now, we go ahead and come down this last level, and Navi checking outside to see what else might be beyond these walls. But like you said, there's no reason Navi goes to this outer western runoff town and Watson's up unless it has to do with the ring, and that is indeed the case. Now checking out Kick as well.
Also a bit of a North American battle happening elsewhere on the map. We watched TSM took down at least one of the members of NRG. Interesting matchup there, but Kick sitting in a good position. This is a common approach to this circle here on the side of Runoff. Almost every single time we've seen people focus on the little home on the lower section, the compound down below, and then also this high ground section. And we know that it's either going to be on the outskirts here to the western end of Runoff or in Runoff itself, or at worst to the northern end right here where we're looking on that transfer up to Slums.
Taking a look here at NRG to see exactly where they netted out. In that last one, they're sitting in 14th, but just a few points away. Actually, if we take a look at just how close this is, it's pretty wild because of 7-8-9 success last game, Dread, and how many points they took away from the whole table. 7th place is Navi with 4, and Windstrike here with 0. So we got a 3, and FlyQuest at 19 with 1. So we've got a 3-point difference from 7 to 19.
That's insane. That is actually insane because we all know only the top 10 do end up making it into our grand finals, and boy, you guys have heard everybody talking about it. The format is going to be an interesting one, and this is only a precursor here to some of what we were going to get. And 7-8-9, the team who put on an absolute clinic in Game 1 here, now make their way to join the rest of the ranks at Runoff.
And they need to be careful with the route. Running 3 white armors here, going to be very careful to make sure they take safe cover here. And now look at Gambit in a very tough situation, though. That's going to be Sunset, who goes down. You see him head in his hands.
Yeah,
now over to Sign.
Yeah, hands off mouse and keyboard is never a good feeling. In any moment when you're playing a video game, you can feel the pain there, but Gambit not quite out of the woodworks yet here. Sign doing his best with the grapple. Good job being able to break that line of sight.
Knows he needs to be careful, though, because as he gets closer to Runoff, there's going to be all sorts of sight lines into this little tunnel here. Back on board with NRG, it's Dizzy with the longbow from distance.
Nobody too heavily focused there on the top half. It'd actually be super interesting here, given a little bit of time. I'd love to hear some of the thoughts coming out from NRG. I'm sure we'll check in with those, but until that ends up happening here, we'll figure out what they're concerned with positionally.
Does connect once there with the longbow, tries to sneak one more out before he turns the corner, but that's not going to be the case. 18 squads still left here.
So let's check in with CSM, or excuse me, NRG.
I think there's 2 teams north in this building. I'm pretty sure there's one high, one low.
He's got the wingman shooting me, VP boy.
7-8-9 dead. You love to see that?
There's a flat line in here too. Fuck. I kind of want to take the flat line over my R301. I'm actually going to do it.
Oh, my person might almost die. Broke armor. They have blue armor high ground, Westworld.
There's so much light ammo down here.
I'm kind of stacked. I already have 360.
Does somebody have a bruiser that I can trade? I have HCOG and Digi. I can trade.
No, I have a hollow.
Okay.
Do you want the thing, or what do you have it on?
R99.
R9? Here, take this. You want Digi?
Headshot Watson, purple armor Watson.
Yeah, it's on my PK, it's fine. I have flatline PK. I have 4 nades as well.
Ship leaning behind us. Yeah, probably gonna be Westworld ending.
I'm gonna go grab the rest of the shotgun ammo from this spot.
There's a space wraith on the tower.
Oh, you got it all? Okay.
Yeah, do you need
oh yeah,
some? I
you
have
did
20.
hit PK. No, it's cool. Ooh, watch your shot. I dropped my 16 right here, but
What, shells?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Do you need shotgun shells?
They're fighting
No,
in
I'm fine. I'm
southeast.
fine.
You might be able to
I was
grease.
just gonna pick them up so I could precision check people. Where? Southeast?
Yeah, southeast.
Where at exactly?
I don't know. I just heard the shots.
NRG here. Clearly showing a lot of concern about all the different angles because they have postured up here into that runoff, but can't help but feel like one thing specifically coming out of Ace's mouth there that I think we all definitely immediately noted was 789 dead. You love to see it. Already striking fear into a majority here of our winners final.
Public enemy number 1 here after that commanding result ahead, and not just because of how dominant the result was and the 1v3 clutch, but also where they sit on the scoreboard. If you're just joining us, welcome to the winners bracket finals at the $500,000 Apex Legends preseason invitational. We've got 20 of the best teams here, all undefeated so far to get into this match. 789 on that 789 did only came in the form of one player down, so they'll live to try to fight to the late game. But I think given that this table's so close, Dread, that's a lot of why we're going to see so many teams remaining and playing cautiously, because 789 is the only team you could say at this point that is safe-ish. Yeah, pretty good. The rest of the lobby truly needs to have stellar performances or at least something really great out of these next 3 games.
Yeah, a large majority of them have something to be earned here.
And we've seen Sentinels on that western side of that cliff over at Airbase before. They've tried to Watson up when we saw a tough result for them the last time they were there. We'll have to see if it's different this time.
Yeah, it's very important that they make a rotation early, because actually they can get stuck on the backside of that airbase, transfer into that runoff if they don't get there. We know NRG and about 1 billion other players are sitting there waiting for them to maybe make the wrong play and end up in their demise.
And look at MVP here. Now Raza exchanging some shots. Certainly gained a lot of fans earlier today on the clips that they were able to put together, as well as some of the day 1 antics we saw with amazing shots and almost what was a 1v3 as well. We saw a little bit of arc shard trading there, and you're going to need to be careful here with this battle. Like you said, still 17 squads remaining. And we're going to see a lot of little engagements like this as the ring continues to close in.
Yeah, there's quite a few cells available for them when it comes to the resource aspect of MVP, so I don't think they're too concerned from what we get here from Kick quite yet, but can't help but wonder, they're not going to throw down a generator. At what point do you stop trading? Because every time a Watson's got that generator out, each second it's a trade up into your favor, as long as you don't take more damage than you have in shields.
Right, this is not a question of when will the zip go down. This is a zip is already down, so if that enough damage comes in, if we see the break, especially if we see the knock, you can expect one team to fly right over. Now checking in with Soar in a much better place than we saw them in the last game, as they were IPN running a solo. Now here, all 3 players with blues.
You can see on Soar's mini-map in the top left that they do have the Pathfinder revealed, but they're going to be approaching from the slums angle, and I think that this one, as long as they can control that high ground, it's going to be beneficial for them. Now, Soar, one of the members, maintaining the control over that HUD. We see ourselves here back with Noth for Virtus Pro, only member alive, finds a way to at least kind of scuttle away here. Will he have enough opportunity here to get the battery? If so, at least extending the life.
Oh man, tries
not.
to crouch underneath some shots, and that's going to be Dizzy who pops in with the Peacekeeper. First shot doesn't connect, but Diz makes sure that the second one does, and will then portal right back. So great use there from Dizzy. And here we go, actually the conflict here between Kick and MVP, and it's Kick who flies right in there, as they're going to go ahead and get a knock, and they're going to trade knocks. 2 players alive for both sides.
MVP is about half second away from getting sandwiched in from the team coming over from slums. It's very important that they make a decision quickly. Do you try to counter push into Kick, or do you deal with this pressure? Also knowing that you're down a member. The removal there of the Watson generator is also a major setback. And again, somebody is going to come over that rock whenever they decide to pull the trigger. I can't help but feel like it's in the 13 seconds here as we do see round 3 closing.
Yeah, Watson, of course, going to pop that ult excel. Trying to get another interceptor up as fast as they can. And that pressure, like you said, is going to be coming And if Kick sees the shots, you have to wonder if they're going to try to go over, but there's a good chance that they can expect that there might be some some pressure from the north as they try to push from the south.
Multiple targets here looking up at Kick in their positioning, back with NRG, but in the home of Relay. They are going to have to, actually I think they have a corner of this house where they're posted up that they can get away with the next circle, but everything past that point they're going to have to maneuver onward. And we know that there are a lot of people hanging out on the backside of that Relay wall over to the western side, and also as we see others existing here on the second tier of the Relay even structures.
That's right, right now here, checking in with Windstrike team, they're in 20th place. But keep in mind, we already talked about all you need is 4 points and you're in 7th from 20th. Such a close group here on these standings. Really, the only separation, like we said, coming out in the form of 789. Everyone else is still so much to play for here. Checking out with them now, looking at Desert UK. Looking good in terms of armor, and also, like we said, positioning. Checking back into 789, and as Desu is going to get knocked right away, Zanaya will be the only member alive, but we've seen that situation before.
Yeah, and it turns out it looks very, very good. So at this point, I normally would say, this is a tough circumstance, Bravo, but I refuse to hold anything true with that roster until we get a bigger sample size out of them. Gambit's still struggling here. Sign controlling this just little choke that's this truck. He's been here since he grappled over to heal.
Goodness, this is where we left Sign the last time we checked in with him. He did lose both teammates as those respawns did time out, and right now, we do see also G2, who we haven't really checked in with the whole game.
And they've got
making that swing, and they are looking pretty.
Yeah, look at all that loot available there. I mean, already sitting with Maximum on top of 2. The R99's pretty well stacked. I know the Wingman was still looking good on the other target here. 0-0, throwing some out, but unable to connect there.
Also that gold helmet, I believe, in the hands of Mimu.
Feels good, man. Portal comes down. They're going to go ahead and push through, but I hate to warn you guys, but there's a lot of targets still sitting in there. NRG
look at this, is going to
that sign.
There it is. That's going to be Gambit, the only player alive who's going to run into. Did not know that a player would be just sitting on the truck for the past 8 minutes.
Look at this complexity as well. Our first glance at them. Actually, Grenade is going to go ahead and get a knock on Gabismon. Red's attempt. Seems like it's going to be okay. Pressure seems to be coming from the inside, not the outside here.
Shots coming in for Penta as well. Going to have to be careful. Another one of those examples of a place you don't expect. Look at that, there's a knock here from Sign.
Everybody on that high ground actually had to make the rotation down.
And look at Zanaya in the top right, also getting some knocks as well. He's not done yet.
How is that even possible? This guy, last time we saw, he was just left alone here, and shots now coming through. Sign trying to dish the shots back. It's going to be enough to pick up a kill on the Soar. NRG do keep their 3 members alive, and again, hide in that little section.
This is the section you talked about, but we just, in the kill feed, we have both Sign, as well as Zanaya, as solos, picking up some valuable kills here already. We go ahead back onto Zanaya, still has the same health. He did manage to full shield, but he then gets an Arc Star.
And kills Mondo. Now MVP at best at 1. I don't even think they have anybody. Now Dizzy does end up finding somebody on the lower level here of the Relay. Double grenade, no armor. Ace ends up moving in, forcing now his iframe. He's got to get out.
And this is a dire situation for the NRG side. It's going to be more pop and sell. Ace is going to try to shield up as well. Peacekeeper does not hit and needs to stay up top. Going to also pop a med here on the Watson ult.
NRG is
trying to hold this staircase.
A massive back foot here, and those grenades, if they can find a way to ricochet off that back wall, they're going to be in a great position.
And they need to find a way to push out of here together, but Dizzy hitting for 121 with the Peacekeeper will make that push easy. He goes right in, does not have help yet. Now finally, the rest of NRG is coming down the staircase to help. Moore going to turn the corner as well.
Unable to connect with his Peacekeeper too, and if that doesn't change in the near future here, I'm not sure NRG is going to be able to get out of here. We got 20 seconds before this becomes a problem, or Ace is going to have to portal them out.
However they do this, they need to do this together. Now back on over G2, they lost Mimu off screen. And Penta also throwing some shots in from the distance into that room.
A dream for Penta. They have 2 teams just waiting to get killed in 10 seconds if they don't figure out their problems here. But actually, pressure from the backside maybe going to distract.
And that's going to be Ace. Goes all the way back up, and that's where the NRG portal will go.
No way.
This is a very popular truck here in this game, and everyone has decided to come down here into this runoff valley. Finally, he'll go down. Now only Moore and Dizzy alive. Can Moore stay alive? Now that ring coming in, he's going to be taking heavy ticks here, and no, he will go down. That will be NRG out and eliminated. 10 squads left.
Penta, though, sitting pretty when it comes to the HP and the armor. Find once more. Another Peacekeeper is going ahead and miss a couple more pellets than maybe he would have liked. Wraith going to peek back, find that it's a 2 versus 1. Another enemy there as the circle moves up, taking 1 tick of damage is going to be Nesh, but not too problematic there. But losing themselves or Axe, maybe.
Yep, Kick will also get wiped as you see that in the kill feed. That will come from the guys there on Sentinels. On board with them now. They found themselves a little bit of high ground. Some great shots there from the 99 from Zombs.
Really good opener there, but it's important with 2 members down. They can't give up on anything quite yet here. We know that this house is going to be very full of targets. Actually decide to opt in towards a push, maybe a res opportunity later. Here, tuning in. Zombs out of nowhere.
No, and just misses it. Does have gold knockdown with that self-res. Redsea's up top. Might go for the revive. Yes, indeed. Looks like might have enough time to do so. And still going to try to fight through this. No. Downstairs. Senox, of course, in some serious trouble.
I'm surprised that nobody looked to maybe try and clean up if Zom's body was going to get looted for that golden red shield or knockdown shield, because they were confident that he had it, but we're not winning a risk position considering their HP. Sentinel's not taking any risk. Nobody taking much risk, but look at here, Windstrike, our last place team, based off of our first game, looking very, very good as we're closing near what is our final circle.
Is indeed Desert UK.
Let's explore this
Faizu
way.
and Rugby here.
Right here.
It's going to be a 99 longbow for Rugby, and trying to time this. Still 8 squads left, 15 seconds left here on this ring close.
Contact with target.
The biggest thing when this ends up collapsing is just going to be who can maintain that high ground based on also the situation when looking inside this home, which FlyQuest is very well set up in. They are ready to make sure nobody makes their way in already. Monsoon glances there with a Peacekeeper prepped with that precision choke. If you turn that corner, it's a make my day situation.
FlyQuest here. Team that was eliminated in our game number 1, back on board with Sentinels.
Have to find a way to be able to break the fortress of FlyQuest, but FlyQuest now taking pressure from other targets here. Great
Look at that.
on the backside of it. And also we see 789, 5 kills here, as this has been just Zanaya by himself. He is a miracle worker here, Bravo.
The kill leader in this match. We saw him earlier, very low on meds, solo player, now with 5 kills, and he leads the game with 5 squads left here. Some good shots though here. Can he finish with the wingman? Red Sea tries to turn the corner, but lots of resistance downstairs. So gonna pop a shield here up top with Sunox and try to force those players all the way up.
Well, they end up pushing. Complexity actually looking good too. A team we haven't glanced at in a little bit here. Armor sitting good. You know that they're going to make this.
Look at the amount of zips here.
Rotation.
And everyone has eyes on where can they connect their zip to on that single cliff peak.
Complexity is going for the Hail Mary here. Look at this. Zanaya's actually armor swapping. That is why he's been so lethal as this 1 versus 3. He's
armor pulling.
and stacking them on top of one another. So in the middle of the fight, he has the opportunity to essentially double his or triple depending on how many gets his armor. And this is him baiting. Anybody who wants to fight him needs to deny him those armors.
We haven't talked about this yet, this technique here. Something we did not see on screen at X Games, but certainly a popular mechanic and a pretty advanced one.
Fights.
What he's doing here is pulling those armors out of those loot boxes, dropping them down so he can have a fast swap where he doesn't even need to loot the bin. He can just fast swap right into that new armor.
And the trade-off is he has no armor for a period of time that he does that, and he has to burn resources to heal the other armor up. But he has done great here. He is the Wraith by himself. You see the self-trace trying to buy as much time as possible. He is prepared to solo win this game, but he finds one shot coming in, has to close the portal because of that pressure, double armor on the ground. Keep in mind, others can take that away if they need. So it's basically who takes the fight closest and then making sure you confidently take that
kill. There's a Wraith there, actually popping up another portal on top of that and waiting for this engagement.
If everybody is too distracted with FlyQuest in that house, there may be a world, or Game's Origin here, inside the house, there may be a world where somehow 789 doubles down.
And keep in mind, it was Sentinels who was upstairs. That was going to be a 2v3 in this battle.
Complexity make their way in.
And Gabe now so weak here with 1 HP, needs to be careful, and Zanaya now going to go ahead and now into the portal, going to jump in. 5 squads left here. Things are about to get crazy here. Staying alive and also hitting the phase, and he's going to stay alive.
Jump in late. This is a genius play. He's going to buy him as much time. He's flanking. Oh my gosh. 789, they tried to do it, but it turns out the Complexity, I believe, holds on. Sentinels do their best and deny. Everybody ends up dropping. 2 squads remain. A knockdown shield somewhere, and Sentinels clutch this one out.
Sentinels are your game 2 winners there. Red Sea up top. Able to hold that high ground on just on that corner of that rooftop. Just about every team at the end of that game had their eyes on that positioning and able to drop down. What a run from them. Also, keep in mind, they were fighting essentially a 2vx there. Only 2 players alive there. They're able to pull out that win. Yet
that play was so good.
He will fall, but what a run from them. And Sentinels
by 789 player. Oh my god, क्या खेलता है भाई, क्या खेलता है.
games 3 and 4. Let's
Holy shit! And I'm, oh my god, मैं इतना ज़्यादा सीख रहा हूँ.
Thank
Holy
you so much,
shit!
Bravo. Great commentary as always. As Sentinels from North America come out on top with a first place finish, a big finish, but you said 200 IQ. I thought 1,000
Exactly,
IQ.
Pura.
It's
He's a
infinite
fucking
IQ.
god.
This man is Bradley Cooper from Limitless. Zanya again with some smart plays and somehow edges out a second place or third place finish.
Honestly, go ahead and clip that, post that on YouTube. That should be 100 million views for the top tips in Apex Legends play, because
followed by the top play.
Everything that you should be doing there if you're a solo. I mean, the only thing he couldn't do was hide because, well, he's already out in the open. No one wanted to deal with him. It's like they knew it was Zanya, and they were like, we're not taking this fight. Complexity peeks over the wall, sees him. They're like, no, we're not even doing that.
Yeah, this is like a Russian god we're dealing with. We're going to avoid this at all costs because he can fight all of us at once. It's almost like Nasus or something from League. Zanya himself is a final boss, but at the end of the day, it is Sentinels that ends up in first place. We were kind of talking, not entirely sure who got second. We're thinking maybe Complexity because we heard Bravo and Co. say Complexity. A couple other teams were in that fight as well. We're going to see what the standings are in a moment, but a good showing from NRG, getting a couple kills at least, not necessarily ending up where they want to from a placement perspective, but solid start here for NRG.
Yeah, I mean, NRG tried to rotate into the zone, and they just ran into a solo sign in Gambit, and that just stopped their momentum.
I really want to give Sign a good shout out to. He was alone for a good chunk of that game, and not only was he able to stay alive to earn more points for his team,
Dude, very high IQ play,
of course, Complexity, another team I want to talk
Holy
about.
shit.
As a team, I think that's not a team that has 3 superstars. Like we're used to seeing that in a lot of North American teams. A lot of good individual play, whereas a lot of our European teams play very team-oriented.
I can't believe that 2 बजे रात को you guys are watching this.
Unit, and they make plays along the way.
I was actually really happy that they were able to kind of show that as well, because that was a good top 5.
Yeah.
You know,
at least
them. Yeah, like.
It was Fly Quest. There we go. Taking, I believe, second.
You said, and you called that too. It was a
Wow, Fly Q के पास था high ground और फिर भी वो नीचे गिर गया.
FlyQuest ends up getting that second place finish. It's Monsoon, the streaming sensation, one of the most entertaining personalities. Ultimately, they bleed out, and there you have it. FlyQuest gets second, Sen gets first. So North America puts themselves on the map here with a 1-2 finish.
Importantly in there, though, with the help of 789 FlyQuest, we're able to get a little bit.
He should have punched them instead of the shooting.
Zanya was actually, we didn't realize how close that was. Zanya was actually about 5 HP of damage away from killing Sen right there and securing another first place finish as a solo. Of course, he ends up getting third place for 789.
बस क्या अभी भाई वो बंदी को देखने के लिए 5 मिनट तक मुझे.
I mean, you also saw that.
Okay, Ajay, ठीक है भाई.
Being set up right underneath that building.
Hey,
it kind of looked like, you know, it was the race cinematic that came out just a few days ago. He was just race everywhere, talking to each other.
No, I mean, ki like you know, you guys could have been watching different things on YouTube, right? But you chose to watch the esports
and somebody would
of a
accidentally
game.
take the wrong one, thinking it was their own, and it would spit them out into a team that they didn't want to be in front of. I'm really happy that didn't happen.
Yeah, Wraith dropping portals. One thing I want to ask you, and you can break it
Yeah,
down
it was
for
tough,
players
Abir.
that were kinda wondering
We
how
need
that
more
was
staff.
how that was done.
Mera halat kharab ho gaya.
500 IQ play to drop out the shields from the boxes. How do you do that?
I mean, Dread and, you know, Bravo broke it down perfectly there. So you do have, of course, that moment of vulnerability when you're trying to get into a box. And sometimes if you get shot also, that pulls you right out of the box. And so he did not take that risk. He pulled them out when he thought it was safe. He healed them up. And so he had 2 blue armors along with the purple that he was wearing. And so that effectively gave him about 250 HP just lying on, or well, 150 HP lying on the ground for him to just swap off whenever he wanted to.
Easy. Basically had like 400 HP available. If he would have continued to fight there, he would have been in a great position. Unfortunate for him, no one really took the fight. No one really took the bait or opportunity. So that's what we saw from Zanya. Of course, Gamers Origin, another Oregon team that did pretty well. Representing France, our only French team, I think, left in the competition that I have seen. So we've had Kick Esports from Portugal, Russia, Italy. We've had France. We've had, of course, a lot of Scandinavians. It is really a global affair here. Of course, North America and US representing with a 1-2 finish there. But as we're calculating the standings and as we're getting ready to kick off match number 3, it's about halftime here. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the main stage. We got Jump and Rain Day for an update.
What's up, everybody? Halfway through the winners finals, we find ourselves, and I know, Evan, we were sitting in the back. That was some games.
It was crazy, man. Game 1 had us jumping out of our seats. You knocked over some coffee.
Hey, Rende.
We spilled a lot of coffee.
There's
and
a problem there.
Yeah, Bravo, I'm just going to apologize to you right now. But let's talk about Game 1 first off, because when you think about 789, you did not think about this team. We prepped for hours, and not a single time did they come in the conversation.
Absolutely. I think 7, 8, 9 caught a lot of people off guard, the same way they did us with their prep. I think a lot of these teams respected them, but they weren't quite sure because the LAN environment's always different. But they show that one of the biggest things they have going for them is not only the mechanics. We saw that in that final circle, the headshot. I mean, you don't have to describe that, but the decision-making and the way that they can make a bad situation actually look good for them. In round 2, we saw that with Exania again, doing the same thing, making it out of a bad spot, same guy alive, still gets a top 5.
It also comes to show the difficult road that all 20 of these teams have. When you take a look at the way that the first game played out, you had teams like G2 and Rogue on the back half of that 20. It was not a performance that we were expecting to see from them, but it just shows the level of competition in the winners finals.
And one of the cool things you saw is that each team is trying to find their rhythm. FlyQuest and Na'Vi, early on, they land together. Next round, they give each other some space because they realize that even though Na'Vi made it out of that fight, it hindered them. They
it's
lost
a skin condition,
they
bro.
wasted time on rotates. The
उसका
best part
skin ही
about it,
ऐसा
though, is
है.
that we did see responses from teams like Winstrike, who had 0 points and then were very relevant towards that final circle. Couldn't quite get the result they wanted, but were definitely a threat.
All right, now we fast forward to game number 2 for everybody that was watching. You had teams that we were expecting to do well for a while. TSM showed up for a little bit, FlyQuest, but I think, you think about Complexity as well as some of the others there, they really showcased their adaptation ability from game 1 to 2.
What did you like about Complexity the most? I think because both of these teams are having a deciding factor. We're going to frag a little bit. We're going to rotate really early and take high ground. What do you think about Complexity that made them
Good, Abid. Good.
The biggest thing for me is the fact
ये सब देख के मेरे को भी खेलने का मन कर रहा है.
is making those shot calls. We haven't been able to do a listening with them just yet, but every time that we swap onto those POVs, we do get to see that Mirko is talking. He has 2 solid teammates, specifically one in Gabizmon, that are successful at doing what they need to do when it's done, but they need to be told, and they need to be told right there. And I think Mirko is allowing them to have that extra initiative.
And looking forward as well, NRG, I want to talk about them, have not been able to break top 10. For whatever reason, they're doing really well, and we were talking about this in the booth. It's literally 3 other teams fall right after them, but for whatever reason, their rotate is just early enough as a late rotate that they get taken out before the rest of the teams who are coming in a bit behind the teams that have found themselves in that final circle first. So NRG have to look to change the way that they're pacing their fights, I think. Mechanically, it looks there. Dizzy's hitting some great shots, went with the longbow Peacekeeper, which is unusual. No wingman for Dizzy. That's strange, but it seems like they are starting to find their rhythm.
So, okay, now I have to ask you, we talked about a lot of different teams. 2 matches left. Yeah. If you're picking one that you're putting your energy towards, no pun intended.
Oh yeah,
no pun intended. Right. That you feel like has the ability to adapt at the halfway mark and move forward. Who are you going to put your cards on?
I actually want to talk about Kick because honestly, they have a representative who I've casted for a year personally. He was in our Paladins League back when we were over there, and he was actually a great player. Saib 8.
I don't know, but that is going to be so hard.
Quite often this weekend, and a team that not really a lot of
I don't think I can sleep tonight. मेरे अंदर इतना ज़्यादा
energy है ना ये देखने के बाद.
Game 1. I'll probably मैं सुबह तक खेलेगा.
Game 3 and 4, I'd love to see them have some more stellar performances and put themselves at the top end of the bracket.
And I'm going to have to go with the easy choice, but also the obvious choice.
It's not impossible though.
When you take a look at the way that they adapt mid-series, it is something that is unparalleled in Apex Legends. We saw it yesterday. We saw it back at the X Games. All 3 of those players, Reps, Imperial Hal, and Alberlelli, know exactly what they're doing, and I really think that they can push it forward.
How did you feel about the trash talk, though?
I mean, we saw trash talk with Hal as well as Pierre from VP.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's something. I mean, at least they're engaged and at least they're, feeling it. Sometimes you have to gas your teammates up, but I definitely think everybody needs to focus up. There's only 2 games left. Probably game 3 is going to be the most important deciding game to settle out the top 6 of this bracket and leave those 4 spots open for a miracle run in game 4.
Now, we are going to get back to the action in just a second, everybody. Of course, we want to make sure that we give the players a couple times, but in the meanwhile, it does create us an opportunity to go back over to the analyst desk and give them some delightful information about the end of match 2 and maybe an update on those standings for all of you watching at home.
See ya.
Jump, Brain Day. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for some breakdown on the main stage. Fallout here back alongside Jamerson and Glitter as want to give an update right there for what just went down in game 2. Why was TSM nowhere to be found? Well, turns out a power cord was kicked and power went out is something that went down. So you may have seen a DC come through. That's what we're hearing here, official word, but I'm not sure exactly what happened with TSM.
Yeah, I mean, we have to wait for admin's call on that, but that is really unfortunate because they did have a really good game number 1, and so that could really affect them. I mean, right now, we have one team that has basically cemented themselves a place in the grand finals, and after a performance, once again, by Zanya, getting 11 points for his team.
Wow.
11 points for his team.
And they're about to hit that 50
I don't know, babe.
already, but how about FlyQuest? Monsoon & Co. with a great bounce-back game after getting eliminated early in match number 1. Match number 2, well, they secure 8 kills, second place, 17 points right behind Sentinels. Kick Esports picks up a few more as well, so the multinational European team representing very well. They were dark horses coming into this tournament. They're currently sitting with at least 15 plus points.
Yeah, honestly, it is really difficult to call. This previous match is just it did really go around. Like basically, a lot of teams were able to pick up a few points here and there.
So, is there anything to stand out to you on that second page right there? Any teams you expect to maybe be in that top 10?
There's a lot of teams that I would have expected to be in that top 10 that were on the second page. I don't know what's happening right now. This is not the way that I saw the group playing out. I mean,
why doesn't window capture work?
Probably has now solidified their spot as well. They're going to be up there with FlyQuest after that, and obviously, you know, 789 is pretty safe at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they can even kind of test new things out if they really wanted to and kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, let's just keep putting Zanya through the ringer. Let's let him play solo once again. Huh?
Yeah, agreed. I think at this point now, you're just trying to get that 50-point threshold. You're ready for the championship final format where you have to break 50. One team in particular, G2 and Virtus Pro, are two teams I haven't seen do much of. But here, actually, we have the updates here, and those are two teams you don't see on the top 10. G2 and Virtus Pro, currently 11 through 20. But looking at the top 10, 79 with 36, Sentinels right behind them. And of course, all the way down to Ringers, Complexity, NRG, Gamers Origin, TSM in there. Right now, it's pretty NA dominated.
However, you know, we're still 2 games out, and we've seen this happen the entire weekend so far, where game 1 and 2 might not be so good for a team, and magically in game 3 they decide to show up and get more than enough points to push themselves through to the next round.
I hope so.
Not only do they have one opportunity to do just that, they've got 2 more opportunities to really nail down those points. And like you said on the second page, I saw, you know, Misfits coming in pretty low. I saw Rogue coming in pretty low, and I think we kind of expected some good things coming out of them. So we have to see what they do, what they change up in the next couple games.
Those are the big surprises in Misfits and G2 currently. 3 points for Misfits, 2
Do
points
they care?
for G2.
I don't know, bro.
And when you look at the other side of the field, the other half of the field, a big question mark coming into this
Black
entire
screen.
tournament was a team like Complexity. But here they are in the top half of the bracket.
Yep.
It just shows how even a playing field this really is. You might think you have your front runners, and everybody just kind of upends the table and shows you how wrong you are.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is, you know, honestly, every team here is such a high performer and has performed so well this weekend that it's hard to say one team is not going to be in the top 10, because obviously 10 teams have to be in that bottom 10 marker, and you know, seeing teams like Gambit, etc., kind of in the fringe marker and fringe area is a little bit worrisome. But you got to say the competition is the highest we've ever seen it.
Yeah, the thing is, we have to remember, once again, it's a 4-game series, and so we do have 2 games as a lifeline for a lot of these teams here. And we saw throughout the regular stage matches that, you know, one really good standout performance and you're going to be able to move on.
Yeah, exactly. 2 more games. We've seen teams like Misfits pop off with 20-plus kills. That's what they're known for. We'll see if they can do that. However, one team that just popped off is Sentinels, and we got Jump on the main stage with Retzi. Jump, take it away.
Thanks a lot, everyone at the desk. I'm joined here, of course, with Retzi from the Sentinels. Now, coming into this tournament with only the X Games as the experience, everybody knew Sentinels was the aggressive team. That's the buzzword that has been around you guys. What's it been like over the last now couple days getting to play against other teams, you think MVP, you think Wyvern, that are just as aggressive, if not more aggressive than yourselves?
I mean, honestly, it's pretty exciting knowing there's a lot of like really good mechanical teams. So when we're playing really aggressive, like
Kya
honestly, there's a
batao?
lot of excitement, ready to fight people that are actually really good.
Do you feel like that seeing teams that are just as aggressive as you slows down your play style?
I mean, we're definitely a bit more cautious, which is like something we've been working on. So we've been playing a little bit more cautious, a little bit more safe, and I think that's actually what we shouldn't be doing. So we just tone up the aggression again, got back to our old selves, and we're pushing out wins.
When you take a look at the way that you guys were able to secure yourselves the victory in the last match, something that always comes to mind is the ability to hold high ground pressure. When your team is able to secure that, the chances of success go up a lot higher. How were you guys able to dominate that high ground before the final circle closed in?
We played edge for a while, and then we just got a lucky opportunity. Like I knocked someone on the opposite high ground, so I just yelled to everyone to just push it, push it, push it, and then we just got control of the high ground. And
Yeah, phenomenal. अच्छा था, but
keeping control of it the entire game.
You're second place, 26 points currently, of course, behind Team 789, a monstrous performance from them. But you have teams over the next 2 games that are going to be going for blood. They're going to be doing everything they can to get into that top 10. What are you guys going to do differently or even the same to ensure that you make it to the grand finals tomorrow?
Ton up the aggression, stop being cared, make sure we get the kills we need to get, and just play for the high ground.
Is there anybody you're worried about?
Nope.
Nope, no worries, no cares, just results. That's the Sentinels. That's their performance. Thank you so much, Retzi. Good luck in your next 2 games. I'm going to throw it over now to the beautiful individuals over at the command center. We've got Mr. Blaze and Mr. Nathanius. What you got, guys?
To show our audience at home, it's going to be one of Kick Esports and another one of Sentinels. We talked a little bit about Kick Esports before, but what do you want to show the audience in this play, Nate?
Well, I just want to talk about, we're thinking the way that the elevation plays into the game. This was a pretty interesting final circle, final set of circles that we managed to get into as far as the ring closing in goes. But first things first, you can't see a whole lot from here. That's because Kick's position that they start up is super high. They're really tucked in. They've got this fence, of course, from the Watson, but they got over here and hopping over these little islands, these upper islands, you could say, makes it so that if an enemy team wants to engage or push up on them, they're going to be super exposed in doing so. So I'll point that out. And of course, that is, I mentioned it for a reason, Blaze, because it is going to become a factor. As we
it is, too, once we get through this. And we're going to come back and we're going to see Kick, they got their back to the water as well. So they don't have to watch from that direction, but let's see some more of this.
So a team does come in on them, and they're able to go straight up. They've already got this area secured. The Watson fence even watching the other side. So they're able to come up, take care of MVP, and they still have this fallback position to drop down, get the res on the teammate, and play around this spot. Later on, they're going to use this same rotation spot and hop back over there, deploy another zip line to get down into the final circle. Things don't pan out for them the way that they were maybe hoping, but really good control and just general good awareness of how to make the most use of their kit with the geography available to them.
Definitely on that one. Using that height advantage to stay up there as long as you can and get into the next spot. So let's actually hop on over to that final moment one time. I want the audience, if you're just joining us, see how close it was for Sentinels to win this game and how close it was for 789 not to go back-to-back on this one. And I just want to play this final moment from the side of Sentinels. Now, he mentioned that his teammate Zoms went down before. He died to FlyQuest, and he had that gold shield. So FlyQuest is inside with another team currently. They have the gold revive here. Now, Nate, get ready to pause this in a second as we get to it, because we know Zanya is about to come over. He gets one player towards 1 HP. Now, we're going to drag this on over more. I want you to see the next player right there, about 15 HP away from clutching up the next game. He hops over just a little bit too much, and you're going to see the final kill happens there. It is 3 teams left in the game. The rest of the guys are going to die by storm. There goes Sirius, and next thing you know, there goes Monsoon, and Sentinels comes and takes it out. But it was so close for 789 to do something miraculous right there. But in the end, it is Sentinels. But that's going to be it for me and Nate over at the Command Center. Brav, take it away.
Thanks so much. So excited to get into this next
Yes,
game.
Abir.
We've had amazing results so far, but as we look at the table, we have to also mention with 2 games left, still 2 solid performances from just about any team. As we saw, 36, I believe, is the points leader. Any team can still fight back in this, and that's what's so exciting about this format, and also just how many points are available and up for grabs.
बट फिनोमिनल मदारी वो नहीं पूछ रहा है, मदारी ये पूछ रहा है कि टूर्नामेंट खेलने के लिए पहुंचने के लिए वहां तक कैसे खेलना पड़ेगा. You don't earn while you play, remember.
Also not at that level. And I think it's also cool to note, because we were highlighting this is the moments where teams should be crippling people based off of their drops.
Madari, please stop yaar trolling people yaar. Come on, man. Why?
I think the deviation from Navi was super.
Holy shit.
But we're going to see here going into game 3.
Absolutely. Some interesting opportunities. Some teams are going to be forced to play very aggressive. They're going to need to get those points on the board, and that's going to be true in game 3 and even more true in game number 4. Some teams at the top of the table are going to have an opportunity to maybe shake things up with a little bit of adjusted aggression as well. And now teams are going to be even thinking more about those drops. Where do they go? We identified already that these teams in scrims, because they're on the opposite sides of the bracket, were not varying their drop locations. They knew they wouldn't meet each other until the winners finals. Now here they are, and we already saw some variations in drops from games 1 to 2.
Yep.
Curious what we're going to see for the rest of the series as well.
Yeah, and also, you know, with any, I almost feel like I'm taking too big of a risk by even suggesting it, but also
Does anybody have a compositional curveball at any point? Maybe, you know, something to save on the back end there, a nice little splitter that's going to be too difficult to be able to read from the batter's box is something that I would love to see coming out from them.
Yeah, we're going to have to ask the guys in the command center to keep an eye on that. But guess what? Here we go. Match number 3 of 4 in our winners bracket final is starting right now. We're going to keep an eye on drops across the board.
Scrims क्या होता है मदारी जो हम लोग स्माइट में खेलते थे दिन भर और हारते रहते थे सुन लिया सो जाओ स्क्रिम्स क्या होते हैं कितना स्क्रिम्स हारे हो तुम बताना जरा स्माइट में याद है
It does look like Sentinel's got somebody to join them now.
Should be VP if I'm not mistaken. VP really the other team that highly contests Thunderdome against them.
गजब हरामी इंसान है.
And in scrims leading up to the event.
So very, very close there to what is likely going to be VP. And again, if we see the same patterns coming up from 79, 79 actually just into the southern end of those initiators. Sentinels, though, actually pretty good loot considering the start here of Thunderdome. Thunderdome is an area that does have a large amount of loot.
और क्या?
But you don't necessarily find
Madari is one of the best support in India, in Asia. In Smite, it used to be the one of the best support.
But we do have some updates from the command center to find
out. As well as solo laners.
Teams are dropping Blaze and Nate over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Brav. Now I got some early intel for you. We already
calls नहीं अच्छा था इसका, but इसका mechanics बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत था.
Outside bunker towards the hill outpost.
Literally इसने हमें एक गेम जिताया जो हम नहीं जीतने वाले थे. हमारे लिए सबइन करके सोलो लेन में. Zinxian खेल के.
We got TSM at Cage and TSM starting to make some rotations over there towards Thunderdome. A little bit.
इसके rotations, इसके mechanics एकदम on point होता था मदारी का. Mind blowing.
Anything interesting?
Well, like our boys already said, we saw Sentinels going over towards Thunderdome, keeping our eyes as well on 7, 8, 9, landed over towards water treatment facility on the south side of the map.
Switching it up.
With that central circle, and especially us being able to see where the second one was already with a really quick scan from actually Rogue getting that quick scan going, so they have the information, they know where everything is going on.
CSGO man, no, Smite.
Those rotations, but we'll see who can secure those early circle defensive positions first.
All right, guys, that's gonna be it from us. You guys, casters, take it away.
Thanks so much, guys. Now taking a look at Complexity. They're up north at Artillery, which is worth noting specifically because they knew that Kick also dropped on Artillery. So looks like we would have seen any action off the break, likely Command Center and observers would have as well. So they're going to be at Artillery. We're going to find out exactly where Kick might have gone because they have varied that drop. But as we saw, also VP must have gone somewhere else because Sentinels were alone at Thunderdome.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty cool to see from Complexity. It shows that they are putting some research on what these drop zones are and that they're trying to find whatever they can get based on the lobby they're on.
I mean, Mirko, we talked to Mirko before the match, and I couldn't even,
the guy's got a galaxy brain.
He knew the drop of every single team in this lobby off the top of his head. We're not just talking from scrim results. I think a lot of people have seen the scrim map that his community created. Shout out to Battalion for that. But also, I mean, he knew where every team had been dropping in just about every match they played this weekend so far. So amazing bit of info from Mirko, who's on your stream right now.
Yeah, very, very likable dude, too. If you guys haven't checked him out, been able to talk to him, very approachable. Just nothing but praise here, not only for him, but the entirety of the Complexity.
CSGO, Overwatch.
Here to get done in this winner's final.
Talk about FlyQuest. I mean, they were coming in with 1 point in 19th place. Yeah. Coming into game number 2, and you guys saw the standings during the break. Now they're seated here in second. I believe they have 26 points to their name.
Very well done, finding a way to be able to recover there. And I feel like there's a lot of fans out there for the FlyQuest roster. But bringing it back a little bit more,
बस मेरी graphic setting लो करा दो लगाओ.
is going to be an outpost.
अरे TT बेच रहा है ना अपना 2070 25,000 में ले लेना मदारी.
Look at it. I'm guessing that's going to be TSM down below. It is actually, I believe, confirming the kill. No, it's actually Misfits Lucido that drops there to sign.
Not something we see all the time. Of course, Lucido, a player we've talked about all weekend long.
I wanna play Apex in stretched mode.
Not just white armor, but not even full white armor. Are going to have to make the very dangerous trek.
Oh, stretch mode, हाँ वो मैं करा सकता हूँ.
This feels like a very repeated story here for Misfits. In the middle of the map, down a member, trying to find a way to do whatever they can with the situation that they have handed to them, but never remaining as a full 3-man squad.
No, and that is NRG here, and in a much better position. Also running all whites, but they're going to Watson up, which is what you expect a team to do in a situation like this. They did have some good shots there. As we do see, the Gamers Origin guys also exchanging some action.
So we know that right towards that glance in the direction that Dizzy is walking here, towards that upper right-hand side.
That means there's only, I believe we only have help alive, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
no,
for
they're
Misfits.
Yeah, very much so. NRG is kind of dismantling the center part of the map, and it's important that they do so because that distance upward in that high ground into that outpost that they were taking a glance at and moving, and they found Misfits at is where I would suggest this final circle to be. We need a little bit more information to be 100% confident, but if you are not making your transition there, you're going to have a bad time, and that's where we see, as you look at that mini-map, Lucido ended up dropping.
And that's a tough set of circumstances, and I think you and I are both equally worried, as was everyone in the room and here in chat, about that trek across Destroyed Cascades on not even full white armor, and the shots came in from multiple directions right away, and NRG capitalized on that. Now checking them in the Rogue, they've had some tough results so far, and they need a big game here in both 3 and 4, ideally, if they want to stay alive in the winner's bracket and head to the grand final tomorrow.
Back to Na'Vi, though, actually already making a very big transition on the map, but they're not in a good position. Already down one member. Impulse barely able to survive here. Gonna get enough opportunity with that battery, but FlyQuest is the one trying to pressure in. FlyQuest only having Lou alive here to represent them. Good Thermite gonna stop the advance there. Looks for the high ground advantage. Needs to find a way to get a pressure point at a different angle. But chip shots coming out now from that outpost. That's concerning here, Bravo.
Yeah, he's gonna have to worry about that angle as well. That's gonna affect how and where he can drop down. Now, Claw's the only member of Na'Vi up, but look at that, grenades coming in as well. He's gonna have to get out, and Na'Vi eliminated there in our first team, eliminated in game number 3, and then FlyQuest.
बदला ले लिया Fly ने.
Very well done there by FlyQuest holding on in.
इसके पहले के पहले वाले गेम में नावी ने मारा था क्या बोलते हैं फ्लाई क्यू को, इस बार फ्लाई क्यू ने मार दिया नावी को. Hello Thor, what's up?
Without having actual information of the situation at hand, unless he confidently knew there was a res opportunity the other side, but either way it doesn't work out. FlyQuest still continuing that upward trend that they've had here since game number 2.
Na'Vi may be able to squeak out 1 point. I think we saw one player on FlyQuest that did get limbed. You have to assume that's at the hand of Na'Vi, so maybe sneaking out 1 point, but that's not going to really do as much as they would have liked. So we'll have to see what Na'Vi can do in game number 4. But now checking back in with the complexity side here on the Watchtower.
Going to be able to scout out a lot of information here. But they won't be forced to be able to make any kind of transition quite yet when it comes to the circle, but as we move on to round 3, likely going to be the case here. Checking in with FlyQuest, they actually go for the res. You see the instant portal once the descent comes through. They're going to have to follow up with Monsoon, take the lift up there into a zip line. A beautiful setup for the escape here. The question is, will the rest of the squads let that happen?
NRG still running all 3 whites, and now they're actually trying to go up. This difficult battle that we talked about. They're going to have to try to get all the way up here. This is where they want to be. They want to be in containment. They also want this blue armor. They'd love to be in this exact spot. And I don't just mean physically. This is a pretty good spot here for Kick.
Yeah, we heard from Rain today.
Rain, yeah, talking about side 8.
And this is
he's watching.
Yeah, they're very, very good. And I think the biggest thing that I would say is, that we heard from him is a roster that hasn't been talked about that much. And yes, they have not, but I think that he brought up a great point, that this roster has actually been the low-key unsung hero, maybe, if you will, of this tournament. Always putting up numbers, but just maybe not sitting confidently at the top of every single lobby. So I can't help but feel like that they may be a, hidden dark horse, possibly.
Happy to see now, checking back in with Complexity still on the Watchtower. I would love to hear their team comms here to just hear how they're setting up. They've got a great vantage point up at Watchtower, certainly better than we see the teams here at Destroyed Cascades. So let's go into a team comm here with Complexity.
Mirko, they're in this little shack right here.
Yeah, we're trying to play up here. Right here, we're gonna try to bully these guys off.
Yeah,
you have a scope? You guys have scopes, yeah?
4x.
You guys need to be playing over by me.
Okay, I'm coming now. Sorry, I was sitting in my ult. I'm coming now. Sorry. Go.
Coming too.
You guys, a zip.
Yeah, there's a team up top.
I'm getting shot from behind.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why they're shooting at you, but they are.
Drop me 28 heavy if you have a shit. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, here. Oh, I dropped a lot. I got some more.
I can only carry 1 stack. Just grab it.
I pick it back.
I'm way
back.
back.
Peek these guys. They're up top. Peek them.
Playing up their Watson ult.
I can't see shit.
Broke it up. I'm watching our backside. You guys peek that. I'm watching our backside.
Oh, they hit me.
To be honest, I can't see shit.
कुछ दिख ही नहीं रहा है. What the fuck?
Make sure nobody pushed it from the northeast. I doubt it, but.
Here, I'm gonna wire off this.
Well, I'm watching The other side. You just need to watch here.
No, he's pushing up on us right there. What the fuck?
Yeah, ult here. Ult here.
I don't have it. I'm popping an ult cell then. I'm at 63.
I need to pop a cell. I need to pop a cell.
Portal's
out. Portal's out.
Yes, I gotta back up.
They're both on this mountain. Careful.
Yes,
Stay
portal's
low,
out.
stay low.
Portal's out, bro.
Pouring out. I'm dropping it right here. I'm dropping it.
Drop it. Go.
Man, I'm popping Phoenix.
They're hard pushing.
Hey, let's kill him then.
100 to the Wraith. 100 to the Wraith.
Wraith is one. Wraith is literally one. Down to Wraith.
Pathfinder low.
Okay,
Watch it close.
Popping Phoenix. I'm one shot. I'm out of the fight.
One on me. Alright, he's not. He's full. Pushing you, Gabe. Full.
I just died to gas that thing. Nope. I'm coming back.
I can run down.
No, I'm dead.
Bro, you called him one, so I pushed him and
I know. I said he's full. I said no, he's full.
Complexity there. Unable to fight out of that. Unfortunate circumstances for them in game number 3. They will be our second squad to drop as they tried to fight there. And tough timing as they got pushed. Unable to. They started the engagement. You saw Mirko make the call to start those pop shots up to the high ground, but eventually unable to convert.
And honestly, with the opening that he had with that longbow, double shots into the Wraith, the instant knock, Reptar calling out that he had the option, you thought that they had the opportunity in that trade, but it felt like the minute that Gabe Ismon took too much damage, and more importantly, the positioning on that circle, that wasn't even his fault.
NRG is alive!
Super unlucky that he's about 2 ticks away from completing that Phoenix hit.
Absolutely, and as you saw, a little bit of a poor timing and also a perfect storm as a few longbow shots missed. You also heard one of the players saying, I'm out of the fight, as they're popping meds, and unfortunate for Complexity, but we'll see them, of course, in game number 4 now, checking in with Gamers Origin once again.
Positionally speaking, pretty well off here for Gamers Origin. When looking at the weaponry, not too shabby either. Just what first question I'd raise here is all the ammo looking good? Longbow, when looking at MPE here, is pretty all right. Sirius, all right as well when looking at that the wingman. Light ammo, I'm gonna guess, is looking pretty good too. So basically the question at hand here, at least when looking at Gamers Origin, is how do they make the rotation once we get forced here post round 3 circle?
Sniper meta, sniper और वही
push could be going on here, but take a look now at MVP. And
bro, but इस level पे सब लोग use कर सकते हैं, सब लोग use कर.
Seems like that's a consistent tale with both them and Misfits here through a majority of our winners final. Now pressure from behind. Mondo is going to get removed here from this Waldaka. Going to go ahead and get the grapple and maybe gain some distance, but he might want that back. Is that the only way up through that zip line? I don't think he can get that res. He peeks once, knows they have the distance, but they know that he's going to be weak here trying to shark in. It's Ringers closing that one out. Maybe a res attempt. See if it completes.
Looks like we'll be able to do so. And now going to have to reposition if they can. And we've seen a team here before. It didn't go so great for Complexity, but now the Ringers have taken the exact position, even the exact fight. And now the exact rotation out. Let's see if this goes well for them. I'm not sure. They're dropping real quick. Lyric and Cross need to get Teenage out of jail here.
History does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme here, Bravo. It is interesting to see Ringers with the circumstances at hand, but at least bearing a better fate for now, holding off what Complexity maybe couldn't have. Take the slide down here, round 3, circle closing in, forcing them to take the shots. No armor available. Teenage is already knocked here. He's going to try behind this tree to be able to get some shield cells, but you see on the backside of that already teams waiting in the wakes, and one of them being 7, 8, 9.
I also want to give during that last break, we're able to speak with, as you see Zanya here, getting some shots down. The pressure's coming up from the Lolacy. If they can get out of here, they've got a few different ways to disengage here. Does 7, 8, 9, and XX's barely keeping a little bit of shields and then try to pump that cell. Now take a look at Kick here with some good shots as well, as more teams are going to continue just cascading down that hill.
Kick actually, you see their positioning. They're looking to push. They're going for that wide flank. They want to try and make something happen. They heard one crack, maybe not pulling back here for a second. But I thought for a second they wanted to try and capitalize on that opportunity they gained. Matrix now taking too much damage. 789 just struggling there, but as you were saying before, during the break, actually, we conveniently were able to, talk to one of the Russian translators to be able to understand the pronunciation here of the squad. And it's actually Zanya.
That's right. I think given the performance that Zanya and 789 has had here, want to give them, of course, the respect here, and also absolutely special thanks to our translation help here. That is Zanya, who has had such an amazing performance here. And speaking of, nice little knock comes in for him, and he'll just maybe fly in with the Peacekeeper, decides to just throw the arc instead, and also going to pressure with the arc, now fly in with the Peacekeeper, peeks around the corner, hits for 121, and of course that's going to be an easy finish for him. He's been doing it all day long.
Yeah, clean swap over there to the wingman and make sure it is easy work there. That was going to be MVP's last member as they end up walking out. 789 well postured here for what could be another victory into their name, but they got 15 squads, 14 sitting in the way as Estesu poking away here with that triple take.
She has been dominant this tournament, along with the entire 789 side. A big surprise here.
The whole roster.
One of the teams we picked to get out of their group, but that was really it. We didn't know anything about this Russian team, and they're dominating. It's been amazing to watch them play. Now checking in here with the Ringers, and when I say the Ringers, I mean the Ringer. It's just going to be Lyric who's left.
Seems like what they've been put through rather than their name at this point.
Yeah.
Lyric, the only one to be able to be a representative, and at this point he's going to be playing the extreme game of hide and seek, where Weaponry and Rogue are looking to remove him. Rogue, a roster that we know needs to have a pretty good performance here going into Game 3, a roster that has a lot of hype behind them.
Yep. And also a very consistent tournament so far, and certainly their most consistent performance that we've seen at a major event. They're in 19th, though, with 2 points, as we go also to look into Gambit, Sunset, and Article here.
And Gambit was a roster that, when we watched them on our very first day of performance, man, the hustle that they ended up showing, it seemed like there was never a situation they couldn't find a way to at least make it look decent. And they're right now going to have to deal with that, as Sentinels is the one bringing the barrel to them.
Look at that. Amazing push there, as we do see Sentinels get that quick work there.
Wow, headshot coming at a distance. Nice armor break there. Retzi falling without any armor himself. Shots coming down from the low ground as well. Retzi needs to be able to heal up. Phoenix Kick being used by Senox, but Retzi might be the one who needs it there with no HP. Arcstar going to connect. They might get pushed.
Yeah, that was Windstrike, the first team they took out. We also saw off-screen NRG falling as well. 13 squads now remaining. Trying to make sure that no one's coming up from that low ground either. Soar also in play, but from a distance here, trying to exchange some longbow shots.
789 is looking to posture up. Soar might be biting off more than they can chew. It's going to be Zanya here with the wingman. Only lands 1, 2 left in the barrel. All he needs there, ring.
Look at that. I mean, look at those perfect angles. Desu and Exen just firing right up. I mean, you talk about just coordination and timing. That was textbook as they fly up there, and Zanya's able to get the finish with a lot of help on that pinch play. Now, here's VP.
Virtus Pro, first glance we got of them in a hot while, and they're sitting pretty good when it comes to this final circle. 12 squads remain. I guess technically not the final circle, but very, very close. And you can see that they
अरे बार-बार यही सर्कल क्यों बन रहा है?
Left over the safety zone. 30 seconds remain till people are going to be forced into their hand. But can they deal here with Rogue, who's just on the outskirts, and 789, who we know have the high ground? Getting a flank here is going to be sweet dreams. Nice couple of shots out of that wing.
Definitely great shots.
बार-बार यही सर्कल बन रहा है.
And going to try to maybe finish with that Thermite. Has a little bit of cover from these rocks, but more shots are coming in. And also, look how exposed they are to the hillside outpost. Those shots could come in if anyone decides to look their way.
And Noth here, a man who is an absolute lethal monster when it comes to his scout use. He is just on point with every single shot, and partly why we saw Rogue maybe on the back foot.
And here is help. We saw him earlier just trying to stay alive, and he's lasted here until this late. Tough to call it the late game with 12 squads left, but we are about 20 seconds away from Ring 5's closing.
Yeah, help is playing Mr. Bushman right now, and it's working out for a moment. No armor break quite yet. There comes the completion. That's going to be actually Sentinel's Retzi, victory of last game here. As this is one of our first glance at TSM. Abrablayley very, very low in the armor. And then back to Penta now with this low ground. Find themselves a couple of victims.
We've seen this shack before. This was the site that we saw Zanya going off. Now back over to PJ here. And Noth on this side. Can he pop this Phoenix kit in time? Looks like he'll have all the cover to do so. And now 6 squads left. We see a lot of reps there. TSM does go down in the end. You'll see that in the kill feed.
Here we go now. Wow, what is this here? That's 789 actually losing one of their members. Sirius is exactly that, man. Taking no time. One member down on 789, but we do see Gamers Origin not able to move up quite yet. And actually the res ends up going through. I don't know whether that was a self-res or just Estesu moving over, but either way, Zanya and 789 have a full 3-man squad still here with 5 squads remaining.
Yep, Estesu gonna pop a med kit. And now look at this. I mean, still not the exact position you might want, but looking good at armor, and even though they took those shots, they're right back in it. And now going to start to rotate around as well.
One thing that's really interesting is they always seem to go with the wide rotations over some of these leader circles and make sure that they really control their territory before making any other transition. That's a very distinct attribute, other than obviously Zanya and some of the plays that they have there. Gamer's Origin, the one that they were looking at here, again with the high ground control over that hut.
That's also where we saw TSM yesterday. We've seen several final rings in this area now. 5 squads still left, 20 seconds until that close, and they're holding what looks like a pretty risky position, but we've seen many teams holding that area, knowing the exact sidelines into that roof.
789 have the slow side of this circle, so they actually can be very cheeky with whatever rotation they want to make. They can peek to the left-hand side, cripple anybody who makes the rotation towards that center, and then actually take a slower transition later on to that right-hand side if necessary here. But we see the Peacekeeper out from Zanya. Found himself one on the inside, maybe going to go for an armor pull because we've seen him with a miracle play here once before.
Absolutely, we know that coming in now. Does hit on the path and also gets some help from Desu, as well as Desu going to fly in, and XN's here. Going to now try to finish out 4 squads remaining, and this is going to get real tight.
Zanya's going to be the first to drop for 789, and that is not something we have seen here yet before, Bravo. So we'll see if that is going to be the miracle juice here, but I can't help but feel like this has been a 3-man team that has gotten them to this point.
Easiest hero on a lifeline.
Desu losing her armor is going to be a problem. Zanya risking his positioning in the knockdown show to try and eat a couple of shots. Another one's going to spawn there, and VP only have 1 member in. It's Taylor.
Look at this 1v1 here. That's going to be a VP and 789 1v1 here, but still 4 squads remaining. Does come in there, and look at that. Virtus Pro does go down, so taking a look here, and as Desu now takes down the side, and now 3 squads left.
Nobody thirsted any of 789 targets. Here we go. The third party comes in, and that's enough to execute 789. It's Soar, who soars right in.
And now Moffers does have full shields. Also popping a cell is IPN up top. Right now in a 2vx, we'll see exactly what that second squad looks like. They've got to be just down low beneath, of course, and now finding each other. Here it is. It could be help, the solo, and let's see if they can close it out here. They've got plenty of room. Let's see, and yes, indeed, it's going to be IPM of Soar Gaming who closes out game number 3.
The fact that Misfits actually made it to placement number 2 after such a ridiculous situation.
It's wild, and I'll tell you why, because Misfits was sitting at 18th with only 3 points. Help knew what he had to do throughout that entire game, and for the overwhelming majority, he simply had 2 teammates who were already out watching him just try to stay alive.
Chalo guys, I'm tired. I'll watch 4th game on my bed on my phone. Good night. कल discuss करेंगे. मैं सुबह stream करेगा 8-9 बजे अगर उठ गया तो 10
victories and silver linings. But
ठीक
we
है?
started this
Good
tournament
night.
talking about
Happy
how going
gaming,
in the next
guys.
games we quickly learned.
Thank you for watching this stream with me. I thought I was gonna get bored alone.